have awoken. Alright. We are all good. I think we are live on YouTube now. Sorry guys for a little bit of a delay here. I'm just going to share the link, kind of get things ready to go. We do have an active tornado watch. Just a few things I want to clear up here. There we go. As the environment rapidly intensifies here. Hopefully you guys are doing all right. I'm going to share the link with the other pages as well. Just give me 1 second. So this is the first significant tornado threat. A first hatch threat we have. Wow, look at that. We actually have a high threat for large hail. I've actually not seen something like that. We have a 40% chance to see above EF2 tornado here today. This is a pretty potent warning. Don't see these early season warnings very often. So I think it is going to be a pretty big deal here. That's why we're doing the night shift today. Alrighty, let me just give me 1 moment, guys. Again, just getting the links out, getting the information out, just so people can join in the stream. Happy to answer any questions. We have early questions as I'm getting that organized. All right, cool. Very potent, very potent. All right, that's up. Me at Facebook. Yeah, like go through all the Instagram, the Facebook. Tornado watch now active. This is going to be interesting. So you got convection already firing off in this corridor here. There are a lot of chasers out today. I believe over 60 chasers by my count, and that's chasers who have their pinger on, have their location tag on. I'm sure there's probably beyond 100 chasers out there. So I'm a bit nervous today, honestly, on the chaser convergence, because we might have some deviant moving supercells today. And if you don't know what that means, sometimes supercells can move a little bit wacky, in which, you know, they kind of split off. And they don't go like in one direction. They can split off and cause some issues. And if we get that, of course, with a lot of congestion on the roads, it can make reacting to these violent tornadoes that are possible today extremely difficult. Extremely difficult. All right. This last thing I'm going to announce is to the Discord. So, all right. And if you're wondering where we're located today, it is, let me zoom out for you a little bit here, Oklahoma. We're in western Oklahoma and the northern Texas panhandle. We're going to see the highest risk here for today. Also tags alongside this are EF2 tornadoes plus. We have tennis ball sized hail and 80-mile-per-hour winds. Alrighty. Okay, I think that's all good. You guys are doing all right. Okay. And now I'm going to activate the TikTok live stream here. Just a second. I remember my bias here. There we go. Keep that up. We'll drop the radars. Alrighty. We are locked and loaded. Everyone is alerted. Look here. Seems like the supercells are having a little bit of trouble firing completely right now. We will see. Okay, we're gonna activate. I'm gonna activate TikTok as well. Luckily, TikTok is just okay. We are live across this gradient here. This is going to be very interesting. Welcome to the stream, everyone. We have a significant severe weather risk for today, and it is going to be a dangerous one. You can see a tornado watch has been issued for western Oklahoma and North Texas. This is a pretty rare risk for this early in the season, and this is the first time we have the usage of the significant levels for our weather today. So you guys are not going to want to miss this one. Good news is right now we're not in any very highly populated areas. We're in a pretty classic zone for severe weather. But kind of besides that, we are just monitoring the situation with some storms starting to pop off right now. We just got a tornado watch issued probably about 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago. It's because our initiation has started here. You can see a few cells trying to fire off. The first one that really I thought was going to make a run at it had some potential, right? I think it had potential, but it did not really make a good run all the way. And really what happens is we're going to have to wait until one can actually get its full power. Once it gets its full power, we're going to do a little bit of analysis here. We are going to have some issues. So we're going to observations. We're going to 2 meter temperature. I'm going to show you something very interesting today for our setup. We have very warm temperatures right along this boundary. We have relatively cool temperatures right along this boundary. What we have here is basically a boundary, a kind of almost stalled front boundary, in which it has extremely strong wind shear, which means if you go up in height, we have turning direction of wind with height there, and that's the area I'm really keeping a close eye on for any supercell that can hook onto this gradient. It can basically ride, because if we have a supercell up to the north in this cold pool, these storms are going to be more elevated. It's going to be hard to bring down that spin down to the ground. But if we have a storm right on that border in which you can fully tap into the spin of the atmosphere, that is where we're going to have a significant problem, in which we have the potential today to see EF2 plus tornadoes. And you can see a very interesting outlook in this tornado watch here. You can see in the middle of the screen, tornado percentage, 60% chance to see a tornado. That's kind of generally across the actual warning zone or watch zone, with a 40% chance to see a significant tornado in this region. 40% chance to see a significant tornado. Something I also have not seen this season yet is a 70% chance to see at least 1-inch hail. We're basically guaranteed to see at least damaging hail, and a 60% chance to see dangerous hail, 2-inch hail as well. The system is just beginning. I just want to share a few of my thoughts on this setup here as we continue. I'm not one to be biased here, because I'm going to be one of a chaser here in the next couple of months. We have 66 days until we chase. I just want to really draw your attention to this problem I'm worried about today, guys. I'm worried about. Look at how many chasers that have their location on. Just a reminder, this is just the chasers who have their location on here. Illinois not worried today. Will Iowa be bad? Not necessarily. Looking more towards tomorrow. There are over 60 chasers with their location on. I'm assuming there's probably over 100 chasers within this zone. What we're going to have today is what's called deviant supercell motion. Deviant supercell motion. And that is very concerning for 100 plus chasers on the roads. We could have a very bad situation here. Very bad. And this type of setup makes me worried, because we have the potential to see a significant tornado, and then we also have roadways that don't really support 100 cars all at the same time. So I'm just kind of putting that out there, guys. We have a very interesting but also uniquely dangerous setup that I'm concerned about here. In northern Texas Panhandle, western Oklahoma. This is where we're mainly looking at today. Northern Texas Panhandle, or northern Texas and western Oklahoma. This will eventually slide into central Oklahoma, Oklahoma City, expecting large hail, isolated tornado risk. Right now, in the next 1 hour, this is kind of the go zone, okay? If we're going to get a major tornado, it's going to start to form right now, just in the next hour or two. And that's what we're monitoring very closely. You can see across this zone, this highlighted zone where we basically have all the chasers. This is the initiation zone, in which you look at the live radar, you have a few cells trying to pop off. We're waiting what's called a supercell to try to take motion here. Here to answer you guys' questions. Let me know down in chat what questions you guys have about this setup here. If you have a location, you can answer your specific region, your specific city and state. Follow for more updates so we continue to track this storm throughout your afternoon into evening. We have a tornado watch for the next 5 hours and 51 minutes. This one has a chance for significant impacts. Thank you, Charlene, for the follow. Let's go to Durant, Oklahoma. Let me take a look here. How's it going, dude, on there? Hopefully you're doing well. Good to see you. Storms in Dallas, I think non-severe. Your severe day is going to come tomorrow, where you have an isolated significant tornado threat, large hail threat, and high wind threat. Durant, Oklahoma, I think it's kind of a more tomorrow threat as well. I don't think you're going to be seeing significant weather, at least in your afternoon to overnight. It's going to be more of a tomorrow threat as we continue to monitor this situation here. A new cell firing off, just putting this out, new cell firing off right here. Anything that forms kind of in this corridor here and actually can get some height to it, that's where we're talking about a major tornado actually starting to form. Amarillo, just outside of our active watch zone. I think you're going to dodge this severe weather. Some good news. I'd still stay weather aware for anything that surprises you here. But the current watch zone is just a county to the east of Amarillo, Texas. Nothing for Ohio. Tomorrow, Ohio is slated for a severe weather risk. That's going to be specifically high wind and possibly isolated large hail. That's going to be for tomorrow, slight risk. Anything for Kentucky? Not today. Going to be tomorrow. Excuse me, not tomorrow. Kentucky is going to be Saturday. Oklahoma's today. Central and western Oklahoma, you are a severe weather risk for today. We're talking about large hail. In western Oklahoma right now, we're talking about an isolated large tornado risk. You should be weather aware. You're currently under an active tornado watch. Tomorrow as well for Oklahoma, especially eastern Oklahoma. So the storm system is really not going to move. It's not going to shift that much. So yeah. If you're just joining in, we're kind of monitoring the situation. We're waiting for a cell initiation. We have a lightning strike now associated with this southern cell. We're waiting for a supercell to fire off. We're talking about a major risk for today in this corridor right here, northern Texas, western Oklahoma, where you can see a major tornado, an EF2 plus tornado. We have our first, we have those intensity levels right now. We have a 10% and then intensity level 1 tornado risk, as well as the current National Service Watch kind of corridor is saying we have the risk for tennis ball sized hail, so very large hail, and we also have 80 mile per hour wind gust and EF2 plus tornadoes. Those are all on the table for just the next few hours here. We're going to monitor the situation very closely over the next 30 minutes here. I think is a very key time if one of these cells can fire off. Right now we're just monitoring the situation. You can see current live radar here on this kind of corridor I've circled here is the initiation zone for where our storms are going to start, in which we have a few small storms, but nothing that has been grown to the level which you'd have concern. Just a little reminder again, the main concern, honestly, a concern I have for today is not only the weather, but the amount of chasers on the road. You can see every red dot is a storm chaser. We have over 100 storm chasers on the roads here today, and I think we might have a major danger, honestly. Major danger. Not gonna have severe weather risk for Ohio today, but that's going to be for your Saturday. Thank you, Moonlight, for the follow. Again, right now there's not a huge amount of going on. Of course, we're gonna be live for probably at least the next hour here just to monitor the situation. So feel free to drop a follow and then come back once things get a little bit more intense. Corpus Christi not gonna get involved in any severe weather for today. Might see some rain for tomorrow. I believe you're in a marginal risk for tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, if we take a look, so, they issued the watch right when we had these two cells right here and right here. It's like, okay, it's go time. And then, of course, the moment you issue the watch, these cells really just died. They did not get enough support from the upper levels and didn't really hook onto the main risk here. And then now we're kind of just awkwardly sitting here and waiting for something to actually take off. It's kind of the name of the game here when you have this region where you're waiting for initiation and there's not much going on. Let's take a look at satellite. So you can really easily see the potent tornado atmosphere with satellite imagery today. Let's actually go to we are in Meso 1, so we are about to lose sunlight, so that's also going to be quite unfortunate for chasing and visually confirming stuff. So you can see the same circle zone. Another thing to consider here today is there's been a lot of cumulo kind of stratus clouds out to the east and over this zone that we've been watching. That is going to reduce the amount of amount of storm fuel that's actually stored here. So that might play a little bit into the factors. But then you can also see a little bit closer look here at the current satellite imagery. You can see some of these taller cumulus clouds building, but nothing that has fired to the point of which has tapped into the full potency of the atmosphere. Last thing I want to show, come on, get off pen, is the change of direction with height here. If we look very closely, especially over in the kind of Oklahoma region, look at these clouds. They're coming out of the south, and look at these higher level clouds. They're going that direction. You see that change of direction with height? That's exactly what we'd be watching for a change of direction, and that's tornadoes. Is it kind of like that? What happened during El Reno 2013? All the tracer traffic. Yeah, I mean, the chaser traffic honestly might be worse than El Reno in 2013, just because the popularity has gone up. I mean, there's over 100 chasers on the road today, and especially when you have a target so tiny, that's why you get a little bit of scariness. How long does it take to get a frame of the satellite footage? The satellite footage refreshes every 1 minute, I believe. At least this one. What are you thinking about this QLCS heading into form over the northeast? I mean, we have that slight risk in place for Saturday. I don't think it's going to be too much of a threat, honestly. I haven't looked too much into it, but yeah. Ohio's going to be Saturday risk, so stay tuned for that. I'll probably be live for that one. Longview, Texas. Yeah, here to answer your guys' questions. Feel free to ask about your specific city or state. I mean, currently we're in the monitoring phase. Of course, our initiation zone we're keeping an eye on is over here. Looking at live satellite imagery, I'm kind of just demonstrating this kind of rotation with our current setup. Current tornado watch is out, and current threat tags are EF2 plus tornadoes, tennis ball size tail, and 80 mile per hour winds. Longview, Texas. I think tomorrow is going to be your main threat, honestly, over in Longview. It's just, nothing's coming today. Let me see what you're in for an outlook-wise. I don't remember. Looks like Longview is in a slight risk, and you have a tornado, wind, and hail risk for tomorrow. All right, sounds good, Santee. Is it going to rain tonight in Longview? It may. I'm like pulling up just so we can stay focused here. Let me just quickly check. Yeah, this is going to explode pretty quickly here. I don't think it's gonna rain tonight. No, maybe. Maybe a little bit. I think serious though. Maybe a little bit. We'll see. We'll see if that actually comes through. Yeah, I think it's only a matter of time until we start to see something really take off here. A little bit more of a zoomed in look. I mean, you usually wait for a storm where it like starts to take up the entire like screen and it explodes. That's where you'd be looking for something to actually take off here. And another thing that really shows you the chance for a tornado here, the spin. So you can see general cloud direction. The surface is moving to the north, but you look at the a little bit higher cloud decks that are forming. Look at the direction they're moving. They're moving east. So that's crazy. That change in direction with height. That's going to be veering winds. That's the correct wind direction you need. Correct turning of wind direction you need for tornado risk to be pretty high. And that is why we are so concerned. So the last little step we have, why don't we have a tornado yet? We need a storm that is tall enough in which it can tap into that spinning. Let's go back to our radar, see if we have any updates over there. Oh, quite interesting. Okay, we might have our first quite interesting storm here. It looks tiny right now, but storm chasing, you always look for, okay, what is going to actually grapple to the environment here. This is our kind of first chance in the past 10 minutes. See a couple of lightning strikes. That's a good sign for upscale growth of tornadoes. And then you can see, of course, we have reflectivity ongoing with a little bit of heavier rain starting to develop in the core. We will see if that actually can work itself out. I think the biggest concern here we have just in the next 30 minutes, if something forms in which can actually get mature and stay singular. If it's a single-celled supercell, then we're talking about a major problem. Major problem. That's what I am very concerned about. And let's just throw in the spotters for fun. You can see all of these people, probably 100 plus people. Oh, we can't see that one. 100 plus people are chasing right now. And they're all about to go to the one storm. That's why it's so oh gosh, this could be, it's a little nerve-wracking, right? If you have 100 plus people chase on one storm and there's only a couple of roads that can get to the storm, and then you have deviant storm motion, that's where you can really be like, oh gosh, what's gonna happen here? Let me add a little something here. I should have probably done this before, but I added the top supporter on screen just because I want to appreciate your guys' support and likes and give credit where credit is due. So let me add a little title of that. Looks like Only Looking right now as a top supporter. Thank you. Appreciate that. Hopefully that's visible. Okay, there we go. Beautiful. Caught my beer looking towards the west. Where are you located at? Somewhere in this tornado watch. You can see we've had a couple of attempts already at storm formation. Failed attempts, though. Failed attempts at actually becoming surface-based supercell. Sometimes you gotta be patient in this type of environment. Really would not say this threat is a slam dunk by any means, just because the addition of reduced storm energy than initially anticipated is a little bit less, just because we've had a cloud deck kind of over the region for a decent while here. I can't get over how many storm chasers there are, though. These are registered storm chasers, too. These are spotters, which I am also a registered spotter. But, these are spotters, and they have their spotter tracker on. That's kind of the two things. So there's a lot of people out there, and you can see they're all... It's funny because you'll see the update every, 5 minutes, and you see them all, converge onto one point. Columbus, Ohio, you see we just saw an update there. You see them scrambling on the road network. It's quite hilarious. We will be storm chasing here starting in May 10th. May 10th will be the first day of rainy day weather storm chase. At least that's when we first position. So give it take a few days. Columbus, Ohio, going to see severe weather Saturday. Core risk, maybe an isolated tornado risk. I think your core risk is going to be a large hail and high wind risk. Stay tuned for more development on that forecast. Okay, thank you, Gutter. I appreciate that in Tulsa. Yeah, it might be a while before you see anything out there. Honestly, I think your main day is going to be tomorrow. I don't know though, timing wise and positioning wise, it looks like the actual position looks a little bit more east. Off the top of my head, I don't remember if you're still in the enhanced risk or not for tomorrow. Let me take a look. It's like, oh yeah, you're just on the edge of the enhanced risk for tomorrow. And it looks like the main tornado risk has shifted east of you. So, yeah, guys, we kind of have 2 days of we have 2 days of enhanced risk right now. We have today and tomorrow. I honestly am more favorable towards tomorrow on being a little bit more widespread. Obviously, a larger risk zone. We have more people, over 20 million people underneath the storm risk for tomorrow. I'm going to need to state on that. How's it going, Mad Max? Very strong outflow on the southernmost cell. Yeah, we're keeping an eye on it. We'll see if it actually can gain some strength here, right? We already have probably 28 billion chasers. I mean, look at all these. They're like ants. They're so funny to me. Look at them. They're all like, oh, we gotta get to the storm. Gotta get to the storm. Honestly, I can't criticize too much because I'll be the same thing coming this May. But it is quite funny to me to see all the storm chasers, all the ants on the radar run towards the singular storm. Do you mind joining this DC? We forecasted stuff. We're trying to build a big community. What do you mean DC? It's getting organized fast. We'll see. I don't know because actually, a good thing to look at. This is my go-to storm chasing myself is Echo Tops because sometimes it's a little misleading to see, oh my gosh, how tall a storm is. So right now, wow, it's actually already 44,000 feet tall. So maybe this one is a real deal. Let's see here. Is it the tallest that has happened yet? Oh yeah, you are right. This one's actually probably off to be our first actual tornado threat here. Currently sitting at 44,000 feet. Discord, send me details in my DMs. I'll take a look at it later. B-Tracks, I need a state, please. In Texas, current cell is, yes, in Texas. Texas Panhandle near, I believe that's Turkey? Yeah, Turkey, Texas. And this cell is really getting tall, 40,000 feet. I believe it's just above 40,000 feet. Already chapping. Yeah, I mean, the wind shear is ripping right now. If it can get fully mature, that thing should not have any trouble spinning. New radar scan in. We're getting some more convection, more lightning. This thing could produce a tornado pretty soon here. I'm putting places like Lakeview, Memphis, Lakeview and Memphis in Texas on alert now. This thing can actually organize here quickly. We're talking about a major tornado risk, guys. Just a reminder, especially earlier on, and we're talking about just in the next few hours, if the cell, which is just for a kind of look here, so this is 11. In 9 minutes, it's gone from 20,000 to, it's gone, a little mental math, about 3 miles up in about 5 minutes. So it is absolutely screaming an updraft. And I think this is our real threat here. As long as the updraft does not collapse within the next few minutes, we're talking about our first real tornado threat really building here. Southernmost storm starting to show signs of rotation. All right, we can take a look at that too. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Yes, sir. Not seeing it yet on my end. Of course, it is still a little small. Also, we're a little away from the radar. Let's get to this one. Oh, yeah, I see general rotation. Yeah, that, but nothing concerning yet. It will only take a little bit more time. Let's go to our enhanced Echo Tops again. I think this is the best product to use. Just sitting about 44,000 feet right now in height. Okay, let's get the spotters off. They're a little annoying. Thank you, Jake, for the follow. Appreciate that. And yeah, so this is kind of where we're sitting at right now, where we have, is this, oh man, we'll see. I'm still a little suspicious. Lots more lightning coming on with this cell. Just west of Turkey, Texas, by the way. West of Turkey, Texas. Texas getting a lot of rain soon. Yeah, they honestly kind of need it, so hopefully you can get some beneficial rain within the region. Here's your tornado watch details. Tornado watch is valid. Ignore the expires time. That's my local time. It's valid for the next 5 hours, 31 minutes. It expires at midnight local time. Make sure you guys hydrate. It's possibly going to be a long night tonight. My plan is to cover the initiation here. Initiation and tornado threat. Because the tornado threat shouldn't be super long-lived after initiation. Alright, let's take a height check. Let's do a height check. Alright, actually, wait, can I do this? Okay, there's something that wait, hold up. There's like a poll I want to do in which I want to see. Oh gosh, what have I done? One moment, I opened the wrong tab. Goodie bag, what does that do? Guessing game? Is that what I want to do? I want to make a poll to say if the Supercell. Oh, okay, here we go. Can I make a new one? Do I have to like make these? Guessing games only available when you. Oh, I have to be gaming to make a guessing game? That's annoying. Okay, well, anyways, we can make a poll. Is this going to be the first? Is this cell going to create or, cause our first tornado? I guess that's what I should be saying. It's really getting some high reflectivity. It's still a little small, but with time, it will get larger. One moment, guys. Alrighty, this should be fun. Okay, there we go. All right, I am creating a poll on TikTok. Yes and no. Will this cell we're looking at right now be our first? Let's say tornado warned cell. Tornado warned, because it'll be hard to confirm a tornado. There we go. Okay, poll's out for the next 3 minutes. Feel free to vote on it. Oh, Illinois doesn't have severe weather risk for today. Yeah, I mean, it's getting more and more tall as we continue on. We're getting some more higher reflectivity here. Seems like a lot of you are voting yes for this will be our first tornado storm. I honestly am leaning towards yes, too. I'm not completely sold on it just yet, but it is producing a lot of lightning. This is the type of upscale growth you'd look for to cause our first tornado of the day. And another thing to look at here is I'm going to throw on METARs. So we don't really have a lot of data here because we're in a little bit of a dead zone. But take note where we have relatively cooler temperatures to the north here. Let me drop the radar. Relatively cooler temperatures to the north, relatively warmer temperatures to the south. This is riding on the frontal boundary. That's where basically the runway for a large tornado is. If you want a large tornado, you want it right here. It is right on the right spot, and it's exploding right now. The actual cell has grown 20,000 feet in just the past 10 minutes. An absolute monster in the making. And now we should be getting ready. Thank you, Paige. Missouri not going to be involved in severe weather. Storm Chasers gave it away. There are over 100 Storm Chasers. Thank you, Paige, for that. Over 100 Storm Chasers involved in this chase today. And guys, I talked about this a little bit earlier. Honestly, if you were asking me about the most thing I am worried about today, it's actually the Storm Chasers, because we're talking about deviant storm motion today. And constricted roads of over 100 Storm Chasers, and possibly a lot of people who don't know what they're doing for Storm Chase of the season. I'm a little nervous. Exactly. I'm a little nervous. These are the types of days in which, if you get the right cell here, we're talking about a large and dangerous tornado. And if you have people who don't know what they're doing, we're talking about a very dangerous situation happening here. So hopefully for the safety of all the chasers out there, I don't want to criticize, because I'm going to be a chaser myself. I have chase experience, but I'll be chasing here this May, if you are wondering. Underneath rainy day weather. I guess, myself. And that'll be a lot of fun. We'll be out there. Hopefully a little bit less people. But that's what happens. And this cell is really starting to get some action in. Lots of lightning. Now I believe it is over 6 miles tall, so the actual storm has just absolutely erupted. Huge updraft here. Actual footprint of the cell is still relatively small, but it should grow very fast. Each radar scan gaining more strength. The larger it gets, the more it's going to tap into that wind shear. Expecting this to possibly cause our first tornado of the day. And thank you for your voting. It looks like the poll ended at 80 to 20%. 80% saying this will, yes, be our first tornado of the day, and 20% thinking, I don't think this one. Will be a bad season with Enzo neutral. It depends on how fast we transition. Enzo neutral looks like we're going to go into a very strong La Nina. Yeah, that's right. Going to La Nina. Sometimes I flip it, but yes. We'll see. It's interesting. Hoping we don't have outbreaks and stuff. Of course, we like tornadoes in fields that don't hit anything. But season-wise, I mean, my current projections for season is just slightly above average. Ohio, we just have rain. I believe Ohio has a high wind risk for Saturday. Oh, we're going to El Nino. Why do I keep setting it? For some reason, I always think La Nina is warmer. You train it into my brain. As a student meteorologist, to be like, what am I doing? Thank you guys. Thank you, Only Looking for being the top supporter right now. Again, hit the like button, or I know that the donation's overpowered, but top supporter does get displayed. Appreciate that. Liking the stream and joining the stream. Here to answer your guys' questions. If you're just joining in and wondering what is going on, let's do a wrap up of what's going on. We have a current tornado watch out for northern Texas and western Oklahoma. This is the highest elevation in tornado watch risk-wise we've had all season in 2026. We have a 60% chance to see a tornado within this zone. We have a 40% chance to see a significant tornado. 60% chance to see plus 75 mile per hour winds, 70% chance to see greater than 1 inch hail, and 60% chance to see greater than 2 inch hail. Don't put those percentages exactly for risk here, but yeah, we're keeping a very close eye on all this. Factors on basically within the next hour here, probably the next 30 minutes, we have a cell already firing off. If it's tall enough and it stays isolated, which, hey, it's pretty isolated right now, we're possibly talking about a very large and dangerous tornado threat initially. I'm calling a storm system a bust while a supercell is firing off is a quite interesting tactic. You think so, lol? Yeah, I know. It sounds warmer because it's more feminine. Okay, I probably can't read that on TikTok. Sometimes I just read stuff in chat. Elevated mixed layer being dry may hurt widespread severe the chances this year. Geomagnetic heights? I don't know about that one, Chief. Yeah, the Gulf temperatures are way pretty much above average. At least outside of coastal regions. Coastal regions are a little bit biased. All right, where are we at? This thing is still holding its height, so keeping an eye on it. Let's switch over to, just because I'm curious. Got a little bit more rotation here. The actual cell is broadly rotating. Nothing that is tornado type yet. Nothing like a couplet. But this thing, it is holding its strength more than any other cell that has fired so far. And this consult our storm chasers, over 100. Let's see where they're all going. And yes, you can see all of them like the ants making their way over to the storm. I can't wait for the photos online of the 5 to 50 storm chaser cars just all lined up across this way. Oh gosh, I can't do this. It's insane. I don't know about calling a storm system a bust this early on is a good idea. It's a great way to cause a huge tornado just to tear through a random Texas or Oklahoma town. Any chance for another polar vortex later this month, or are we done? Long range, I think we're going to be above average for almost the entire month. A very potent polar vortex, I just don't see fully coming. I mean, it is possible, especially late March, because just generally it's hard to look that far beyond. But really, the window is closing for colder air or another major winter storm that really has impacts to the level which we've seen this winter. We've had a couple of big hitters. We are moving away from that now. Obviously, tracking tornadoes instead of blizzards. It's still possible, but I wouldn't put away the snowblower just yet. but very soon. Probably just a month. No. Okay, sorry. I'm getting a warning from TikTok that I'm not allowed to play, like, a radar loop, apparently. I don't think it likes my radar loop. I'll try not to play the radar loop then. See lots of lightning firing off within this cell. North Carolina, not going to see severe weather. Happy to answer your guys' questions. Hope you're doing well. And you can see we got a couple of other storms that are along this frontal boundary. The switch over radars more to the east. Yeah, I mean, these are like a little bit weaker. It looks like there's a couple chasers that really want to give them a chance. In this one, really, if we're looking at this radar, really starting to get, look at that motion right there. You start to see a little bit of a hook. Oh gosh, here we go, guys. Could get very interesting very quickly here. We're in a very potent environment. Let's take a look at our satellite imagery. It's always my favorite to do as well when I'm chasing. Oh, well, let's take a look at what latest thing we got before. Oh my gosh. You see that? That's crazy. That is a crazy satellite imagery right there. You can literally see the actual storm explode. I mean, that is really cool. That is really cool stuff there. That is honestly very cool. Also a huge sign in which what is coming. Pretty sold on this cell being our possibly first tornado threat here. Let's just look at the visible satellite. When you have that updraft and then you have the anvil start to expand rapidly, it's going to start tapping into this changing of direction of wind with height very rapidly here. Very rapidly. Very cool. Wow, you can see the hook really starting to develop too. Let's go on to unfortunately, we're pretty far away from our radar today in this zone, at least right now. Honestly, don't know what radar is closest. Looks like one wants to give it that one, so that's quite interesting. And there we go. Our first severe thunderstorm warning has been issued by the National Weather Service. Whoa, getting some weird side lobe rotation ongoing here. Maybe a anticyclonic. Wait, no, it's way. Yeah, anticyclonic tornado maybe? We actually might be getting an anticyclonic tornado on this one. It might be just side lobe, but we do have our first severe thunderstorm warning of the day. Here we go. Severe thunderstorm warning has been issued in northern Texas. This is for the next 48 minutes heading northeast towards Lakeview and Memphis, Texas. Current warning threat is 1-inch hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. I honestly would be ready to take shelter for this one because, this is our first supercell on a very potent track to possibly cause a tornado. Definitely rotating, but we're on the wrong side for like an actual traditional tornado. However, a anticyclonic tornado might be happening. Those only happen about 2 to 3% of actual tornadoes. So normal tornadoes rotate counterclockwise. Let's get a secondary radar opinion because I'm not very sold on this. It's a little bit weaker on the further away radar, so I don't know. If it is happening, no one is really seeing it because all the chasers are on the southern side. Which is kind of ironic. We have over 100 chasers there, yet they might be missing the anticyclonic tornado with this associated with the storm, which would be a little bit crazy. We'll see how that develops on the continuous. I mean, that rotation has been sitting there for a little bit, not going to lie. This might be a diverging cell as well. Keep an eye on the right mover. Another thing to keep an eye on is, actually, I think that is a diverging cell. That is definitely a diverging cell. So that's going to be a left mover. That's going to be a cell that's going to die off pretty soon. You can notice how once this core cell starts moving more eastward than northward, that's when we're really, really going to start ramping up the tornado risk here. It's going to very develop very quickly. You need to be on your toes here in Lakeview and Memphis, Texas. We have a storm that has gone from about 5,000 feet up to 45,000 feet. I believe that's still increasing. Let's take a look at the enhanced echo tops. Still increasing. Yep, still pretty tall. And expanding. Increasing, taller, and expanding. That is going to increase the amount of shear it is feeling, and which increases the chances of tornadoes. Where in Texas? Because I'll be driving out there tonight. Well, definitely in the Panhandle of Texas. Panhandle, Texas is going to be a very dangerous place to be, as there is a current active tornado watch out for about 600,000 people here in the region. You see all these dots here, guys? That's all the storm chasers currently registered to the spotter network. We're going to shut that off here. There's over 100 storm chasers out there. There's a lot of them. And I hope they're all being safe. Seems kind of very strange. It's quiet out here. Calm before the storm, indeed. Especially with these types of setups here, where you have those tornado setups in season. There's a lot of setups in which you actually have a very calm amount. That actually allows for energy at the surface to build. It's kind of like a lid, and the lid just explodes off. And that's actually kind of a common thing with the phrase, is you have the actual lid adds the problem. Where is this at? We're currently in the Texas Panhandle, the northern Texas Panhandle near Memphis, Texas. We currently have a severe thunderstorm warning active. 60-mile-per-hour winds, 1-inch hail. Pretty large storm ongoing. Is this storm splitting right and left mover? Yes, the storm is splitting currently. You can see this generally. You see how we're having a little bit of reflectivity kind of split off. So we're having this go here. And then hypothetically, you see it's still kind of a mess. There's a core here. There's the main storm we're watching. Hypothetically, this one's going to go more right. This one's going to go more northward, left. This one is the one you'd be looking for a tornado and to continue its strength. And the main reason for that is because it's more of a sign of it tapping into the upper level shear, which is more east, coming out of the west. So we're going to keep a very close eye on rotation here as well. We've gotten to the point in which we're almost towards a full mature supercell, and that's why I am really interested to see if anyone has eyes on this part of the storm. This is the left mover, which currently is showing anticyclonic rotation. I just don't know if I believe that's happening. So we might be having a tornado right now, which, you know, looking at the rotation, it kind of looks like it right now. It kind of looks like it. You know, the right radar is about 2 minutes ahead of the left radar for some reason on or on velocity. Rotation couplet's actually pretty strong on this left mover here. Anticyclonic, just a reminder, anticyclonic tornadoes, which rotate in a clockwise fashion, only happen about 2 to 3% of the time of all tornadoes. It's extremely rare, but it does happen. And this would be incredible. Unfortunately, I don't think there's any spotter within view of this. Hopefully someone can get eyes on it, but if there is an anticyclonic tornado happening right now, we are still in Texas, guys, just west of Lakeview, Texas, in the Texas Panhandle. We might be having our first tornado happening. It will get a tornado warning if there's visual confirmation, but an anticyclonic tornado is extremely rare, and we'll be seeing. Will you be live tomorrow? Yes, I will be live tomorrow. I already blocked that out. Expecting more of a widespread, more populated risk zone for tomorrow, so stay tuned for that one. There are way more people, just generally. It's a more populated area, and I am more leaning towards a higher end risk there, just because of the combo of population and general ingredients. You'll be watching, great. We'll be happy to have you there tomorrow. Where would the worst be at for tomorrow? Honestly, things have shifted a lot over the past just 12 hours. Texarkana, that region, kind of this corridor right here is where, like, okay, that's probably where the most tornadoes will feature. The thing will be very tricky to cover tomorrow because there's going to be so many people under risk, and there's going to be a lot going on all at the same time. This is just unbelievable to me that we have possibly an anticyclonic tornado ongoing. Like that is a very. That'll be the first anticyclonic tornado I think I've had on stream, and I've streamed for about a year on almost every severe weather event. What's up, Egg? How's it going? We chasing in southern Iowa and Missouri. We'll be watching your stream tomorrow. Great. Stay safe out there, storm chasing. Love Iowa. Love chasing in Iowa. It's an amazing state. We'll be joining anyone who chases in this May when I come home from my study abroad. We'll be chasing out. So stay safe tomorrow. Have fun. Drive like a human being, like a good human being. What does that mean? So an anticyclonic tornado. Normally, tornadoes rotate in a counterclockwise rotation. So, in the opposite way a clock spins. An anticyclonic tornado spins in the clockwise fashion, which is extremely rare for the northern hemisphere. And as I say that, the actual rotation couplet has basically poofed. But looking at the rotation couplet from the past few scans, I think we had an anticyclonic tornado. I think we probably at least had a funnel cloud. I'll have to look online. Do you have a YouTube? Yes, I do have a YouTube. Also live there as well. That's interesting. Yeah, it's about 2 to 3% of tornadoes are anticyclonic, and at least that's the current understanding. They're extremely rare, because normally you have what's called veering, so you have more of a different fashion of rotation. But obviously it can't happen. What causes anticyclonic storms? Honestly, it's a little tricky because our understanding of how fully tornadoes work is still kind of shoddy, and then you go to something that is even more rare. It is a little hard to explain, and it's honestly not well known. The current hypothesis is they're more of a collision of updrafts and storms rather than the traditional stretching of general rotation. Yeah, and we've lost. We still got a little bit more rotation on this kind of northern end of the left mover. You really start to see our traditional supercell shape starting to take shape here. Heading towards Lakeview and Memphis. Again, we're currently underneath a severe thunderstorm warning, 1-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds in the northern Texas Panhandle. This is valid for the next 44 minutes. Can I expect north of Philly tonight from the little QLCS forming? I don't even know if Philly is inside that marginal risk, but maybe a few gusts. Oh, I didn't even realize these thunderstorms over here in our western Oklahoma region are really starting to pick up. A little bit more of a slop fest here. I'd be keeping an eye on a large hail threat from these ones, if anything can really form. Our tornado risk is mainly going to stay with these cells that can stay by themselves. Ground level rotation is cyclonic just north of Stockton. What is going on here? Sorry, I'm just is that the cell we're looking at right now? Thank you, Squishy, for the donations. Very kind of you. Appreciate it. Good to have you here. Very rapidly developing environment, as you can see. I thought the worst for tomorrow would be around Tulsa, Oklahoma. Things have really shifted. It's going to be more eastern. Eastern Oklahoma is currently the highest level risk for tornadoes, large hail, and high winds. And for today, western Oklahoma and central Oklahoma are obviously western Oklahoma is underneath a active tornado watch. Oh, okay. So this is interesting. We just got a new mesoscale discussion here, in which they have just upgraded the tornado risk. Okay, so you don't have to read it at all, but it basically says the next 1 to 2 hours we have an upgraded tornado risk. We have about 2,000 joules of CAPE, and they are saying the initial watch was EF2. They have upgraded it to EF3 risk. So an EF3 plus risk has been issued for kind of western Oklahoma and the northern Texas Panhandle within this red zone here. Red zone. So just keep that in mind, guys. A rapidly developing environment. That's why we're keeping a very close eye on this first mature supercell that we've seen. We have a serious risk happening. In Massachusetts, this woman said snow and tornado in one sentence. Oh, gosh. The poll was right. I don't think we've got a warning just yet. How do we? Yeah, rotation's pretty broad right now. Rotation's pretty broad. Nothing surface-based. Topeka, Kansas, and Kansas City, Missouri tomorrow. Kansas City, Missouri should be alert for tomorrow. You do have, I believe... What do we got? You have enhanced risk, mainly that's driven by large hail, but you also have a tornado and high wind risk. Those are significant tags, one across all the board. That means in Kansas City you have hail up to golf ball sized, wind up to 75 miles per hour, tornadoes up to EF2 plus. Stay rotation in the chat. Stay weather aware for tomorrow. I'll be live tomorrow. A lot more people involved in the severe weather risk. Is going to be a lot more widespread. The tornado risk actually stretches all the way into central Michigan down through southern Texas. That's how large the actual tornado risk is for tomorrow. Will they add a SIG 2 for tornadoes since the mesoscale discussion? That is a great question. I don't know if they actually accompanied. Let me just check online really quick. I don't know if they accompanied that discussion with an upgraded risk. Okay. Yeah, looking at some photos online, the cell is huge. I don't think they upgraded the significant tag. It looks like they're just going to do a mesoscale discussion rather than... Oh, it's because I gotta stop looping the radar. Shoot. Will they add as... Okay. Sorry, guys. I just got myself banned again. I gotta stop looping the radar. That's what's causing the banning. We'll see. New York City, nothing really of note. Let's take a larger view. You can see thunderstorms really starting to erupt across this region here. It's going to just drop the discussion because it's a little annoying. I'll throw on the outlook really quick just so you can see what we're looking at. Also drop the METARs for our risk zone for today. You can see a risk zone. It stretches all the way up through Iowa today. Omaha, Kansas City, Wichita involved. Anywhere kind of north outside the current tornado risk is more of a large hail and high wind risk based. Even stretches all the way down through southern Texas. So we'll keep an eye on that. Right now, if you're just joining in, we have a kind of supercell developing here, which means a very large storm that's capable of producing a tornado if it can tap into the environment. You can see you're getting a little bit more extra convection on the updraft. We have a left mover that is expected to rapidly decay. This storm right here, you can see they're kind of splitting apart. This is what's called a right mover. This is what will have the higher chance of seeing a risk. Check your Discord. I don't have any alerts on my Discord. No. Yeah, it looks like some sort of hook. Or at least, the hook is usually the updraft. So at least like the core of the updraft. Let's take a look at rotation. Nothing yet. Nothing ground-based, at least. Or at least slightly. DMs. You might need to DM my my other account that I made the announcement with, my Ethan account, because I don't have access to my Rainy Weather account right now on my phone. This just absolute monster starting to form here. Lots of lightning firing off. Let's take a look at our ants, shall we? I'm going to start calling them ants. Looks like a lot of them are trying to navigate this road here. Because there's no road between here and here, so they have to go down to Turkey and then go up again. Gosh, this is just too funny to watch. Surprisingly, a lot of chasers are going out towards this kind of slop fest. Actually surprised. I honestly think this has no chance of producing anything in important. Yeah, satellite view is nice, but now unfortunately it's becoming dark. Okay. We can take a look at the water vapor now. Let's geocolor. Well, you also can look at geocolor because it does have night mode. You see, really get to tell where our storms are right here, like along all the way here. You see how they're that updraft is very strong. These are our actual anvils outstretching. Yes, that's correct, Broncos. Getting a lot more activity going on. I'm actually surprised this thing has not produced yet. I think the main reason it hasn't, and wow, these storms up to the north are about to get flagged possibly for large hail. You can see the actual largeness of the actual storm and the reflectivity as well. The pinks. We'll go a little bit closer of a radar here. We're going to go to these ones. See, this is more of a slop fest. So this is less of a chance of producing... this is a less chance of producing an actual tornado because it's kind of messy. It still has a very high likelihood of producing large hail, though. I'm looking at my message request on Discord. I don't see anything, honestly. Look at all these storm chasers. Oh my god. All these people are... we need a storm chaser windshield report. We're about to lose all these windshields if these storm chasers don't get out of the way. Yeah, if you have a message, you might need to send it in just the general Discord, unfortunately. Because I don't have any requests. At least on my end. Okay, here we go. I got it. Is that the Apple Weather Future radar? Unbelievable. Yeah, it's gonna rain. So here's a full life of this storm, right? We had it fire off just north of Texas Road 97. And kind of it did a pretty normal cell split here. We have a left mover and a right mover. This goes here. This goes more to the right. The right mover is the more likely one to sustain its strength, in which obviously you can see is a lot larger than the left mover now. And also the one we'd be watching very closely to produce a tornado. Nothing's really happening in Louisiana right now. Keeping a very close eye on the storm. And man, there are a lot of chasers in the way of this one. This is why it can become so dangerous when you have so many people on the roads. And the kind of good news is just generally is there's a little bit of chasers spreading out because there's some chasers going after these. And we do have our second severe thunderstorm warning of the day. This is going to be up for western Oklahoma. Let's get the radar up a little bit closer. And this is what I'm talking about. So less of a tornado risk, more of a large hail risk. This is up for quarter-sized hail. 1-inch hail, currently in Putnam, Taloga, and Sealing, Oklahoma, for the next 42 minutes. You can see these storms really fired off here. Name the car Punisher 1. We've already named the storm chase vehicle. Look how these have just exploded, though. There are some powerful storms, less likely to produce tornadoes. But did we just have an expansion of the enhanced risk, or am I like going crazy? Maybe I'm going a little crazy. All right, let's take a look at rotation here. Where's our radar base? North towards. Okay, yeah, we're probably starting to get some broad rotation on the actual corner here. All right, 2 a.m. here in Germany, and I have to wake up 6 a.m. for school. Oh my gosh, mistakes have been made. I have to wake up at 8 a.m. for school. It's 2 a.m. here. I'm currently studying abroad in Madrid, so I'm not much better. Gosh, Texas. Have you never... You live in Texas. Don't you know what spring is? Oh, this is quite interesting. So now we're starting to lose some convection ability of this storm. The actual radar... Oh, no, I kind of lying. The actual echotops were a little lopsided right now. Kind of interesting. I guess we're... Oh, no, this is a little bit behind. So we'll see. The echotops are a great way to see if the storm is dying or sustaining. And if it's dying, we'll see the storm heights start to collapse. So keep that in mind here. The only thing I say is we're like... The radar beam's getting a little bit blocked. There must be like a windmill in the way. That sometimes happens when they get really close to radars. But notice how we don't have any more like purple reflectivity inside the storm. That could be because of the storm collapsing, or we also are kind of slightly sliding away from the radar, so that plays a part. It is nadir season. 2 a.m. Yes, I'm currently in Madrid studying abroad. What is going on in Maryland, Delaware? Because I've been seeing a storm coming in. Just making sure. I can't remember if the risk encompasses you guys. I have it right here, so. No, the risk doesn't really encompass you for Saturday. I mean, there's a slight risk right now for eastern Ohio, western Pennsylvania, down through West Virginia. That's for Saturday. You might see some isolated storms, but nothing like crazy severe. It's a huge price you have to pay to watch. Yeah, it is really huge. But man, I don't know if you like live in Germany or full time, but like I storm chased last year and it's crazy. There's nothing like United States storms in the Great Plains. Nothing like it. And it looks like we just got a refresh on the actual echotops. We do have an increase in height, up to 47,000 feet. So the storm is not weakening. It's just kind of shifting away from the radar a bit here. These guys are going to lose a windshield here if they do not get out of the way over here in Lakeview. Currently in the northern Texas Panhandle, we have an active severe thunderstorm warning for Lakeview and Memphis, Texas. And we also have severe thunderstorm warning for western Oklahoma, just northwest of Weatherford. This is for Putnam, Taloga, and Sealing, Oklahoma. See more of a slop fest here, so this is more kind of just a mess of thunderstorms, and this one is the bad boy we're watching, as well as over 30 chasers on the storm. This one is the one I'm keeping an eye on for a tornado threat. And just if you're just joining in, latest update by the Storm Prediction Center is an upgraded threat, an EF3 possible associated with these storms that are trying to find their way into maturity. Also, I mean, we're really far away from radar, so it's hard to see exactly what's going on, but we have a few thunderstorms here that are a little interesting to keep an eye on. If something can start to move more to the right, more can tap into the upper levels better. All right, I'm going to refill my water, guys. I'll be right back in about 1 minute. 1 minute, pause. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Let me know what your favorite color is. I don't like you, but like it's a little, need like a little snack or something. I don't know. Sometimes you just like need a little snack. You know what I mean? Would be cool to see Chase's perspective of this one. Probably like a traffic jam. Oh yeah. I mean, I'm sure photos and videos will be coming out. And quite interesting. We're getting a little bit of convection on the southern side of the cell here, so this might really play into the fact of the matter. We're also getting some more convection along this side. I'm sure it is Quite funny. Let's go over to here. Green. Okay, thank you, Broncos. Oh, okay. We might have our first tornado warning very soon. That convection kind of didn't look like it was associated with the cell, but now we got a pretty predominant hook. This is an intensification that has not been seen within the storm, and now we have rotation. And look at this, another anticyclonic rotation ongoing on our northern cell. It does not want to give up on the anticyclonic rotation. This actually might reach the ground here. So we have this rotation here. Notice how our reds and greens are flipped. This is a normal rotation. This is an anticyclonic rotation. So this is clock, or the southern one is 2 a.m. brain. The southern one is counterclockwise. The northern one is clockwise. And this one is going to get tornado warned here very soon if it can become surface-based. And what that means is, well, we have a lot of chasers on the storm, so they're probably going to wait till visual confirmation. The radar beam obviously shoots out, and because the Earth is curved, you have a radar beam kind of start to technically go up, but it's just, kind of shooting over the curvature of the Earth. So it's not on the ground. It's not surface-based. It's above the surface. This one's probably like 1.5 miles off the surface. So we have rotation just outside, just above the surface, or just kind of in the mid-levels of the storm. We have to wait until that rotation can make it down the surface. And I think we might have our first tornado warning of the day. This is a type of storm in which if it can get going, there's not much going to hold it back. We're talking about a major storm, a major setup here. We could have twins. I don't know if they're going to be in view of each other, especially with an anticyclonic rotation. That's kind of funny. Don't see that very often, especially for long-lived storms here. How's it going, Cohen? Good to see you. So you can see how rotation has really developed just over the last 2 minutes. So luckily we're getting scans about every 2 to 3 minutes, so we should have our new scan in any moment. And there are a lot of people in the harm's way of this one. Jeez. Look at all these chasers driving through here. They got to be careful because we got large hail up to an inch right now, up to quarter sized. And then also you might have a bad boy tornado really get shape here very soon. So where is this at? This is currently in North Texas. This is heading towards Lakeview, Texas. We're in the panhandle of Texas, heading towards Texas Road 256. And this could get very interesting extremely quickly here, guys. This is getting concerning because we also have a very large just town in general for this region, Lakeview. Lakeview, I'd be on high alert here. This is becoming a very healthy-looking, mature supercell, and which is in a very potent environment. Thank you for the call-out. It's 48,000 feet. We've almost reached 50,000 feet in height. Just a reminder, every foot that storm climbs, the more wind shear it feels, the more rotation the actual full storm is feeling, and that will rapidly increase the tornado chances. What radar site am I using? I'm using Weatherfront. You can find the source to the app in my bio, the link tree there. Looks like all these chasers down right here on this corner of the road. They're all trying to get down here so they have a way to go east. Because I would not want to be in this corridor right here. It's kind of trapped, right? Because you have the hail core, and obviously you have the giant couplet heading right towards you. Gosh, there are a lot of people in the roads here, guys. This is concerning. It looks like we also have a conga line of people who have given up on the other cells and are now heading towards this cell as well. Yeah, if you're just joining in or haven't been here since the beginning of the stream, I'm concerned about a couple things. Obviously, we have kind of EF2 plus. I actually should update this. The National Service has just updated to EF3, so maybe I should make it a little more accurate, right? There we go. Beautiful. So we have an EF3 plus environment, and on top of that, there are over 100 storm chasers today, with deviant storm motion today as well. So what that means is, I'd say most of the time, storm motion is pretty predictable. You can see, okay, the storm is going that direction. Obviously, we've seen already in this environment, there's a lot of splits, so storms can split up, and there can be deviant motion. So that means it could make a sudden turn and which can be extremely dangerous for chasers who don't have high mobility. And with 100 people on the road, that can lead to huge issues. So it's kind of like a two-edged sword here. I'm not hypercritical of storm chasing. I myself will be storm chasing, so it's just something to be aware about when you're dealing with this type of high-level threat. If you mess up here, it could be very bad. And as I say that, the rotation has gotten broad. So it really, it wanted to show us there just for a second, hey, it's just for a few radar scans, and now we've gone a little bit more broad. So we'll keep an eye on that as it continues to develop. Is going to Ohio now. You have a severe weather risk for Saturday. Radar site, not app. Oh, this is not a website. Rockport, Indiana. That's not a severe weather risk for today as well. Current tornado watch is for northern Texas and western Oklahoma. We have 2 active severe thunderstorm warnings. Active severe thunderstorm warning for Tallulahga, Sealing, and Putnam, Oklahoma. That's also for Oklahoma Road 47. Additionally, in Texas, this is over in the panhandle of Texas, we're keeping an eye on a now re-rotating storm here. I'm heading towards Lakeview. Current thunderstorm, severe thunderstorm warning is 60 mile per hour winds and 1 inch hail. Not going to Ohio. And the hook is coming back and rotation's coming back, so those chasers need to get out of the way, or you're going to be in some big boy trouble here very soon. Oh gosh. Okay. Yes, Ohio is safe today. Let me go to Brenda's place. Is it in Need, Oklahoma? You do have a severe weather risk for today. You have a 5% tornado risk. You're currently underneath a slight risk for severe weather. I'd stay weather aware and have that safe place in mind if you need to go to it. Texarkana needs to be weather aware for tomorrow. You are an enhanced risk for tomorrow. I do believe it is a tricky day to fully predict, but you've been basically moved into a more high level threat, especially over the last few updates here. Stay weather aware very closely in that region. Hope you guys are doing well. Thank you, Only Looking, for being the top supporter so far. You've been up there for a long time. If anyone wants to try to take them down, feel free. All you have to do is comment and like. And you can see you can try to get up there on the leaderboard. How's it going? Socket game. How's it going? Hopefully you're doing well. You can see we're getting a more and more messy environment here as we continue to track these storms. Nothing has been tornado warned yet. Nothing has been able to pull in the rotation. And as I say that, getting some interesting rotation up here. Oh man, these are just such weird storms, and they're hard to forecast for and warn because they're so far away from the radar here in this kind of western Oklahoma radar blind spot. It's a tough position to be in as a forecaster. Where in Texas? We're in the northern Texas panhandle, just west of Memphis, Texas. It's where current core area to watch is. Current core area. Okay. Honestly surprised something hasn't popped off yet. We'll see. This supercell here is trying to get its act together. Look at this absolute conga line of people. Oh, gosh. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave your city and state. I will be 100% live for tomorrow, Dexter, so feel free to follow and join in tomorrow for that. Watch you say that and it happens. And we'll see. We'll see what happens. Oh, yes, thank you. Thank you for that. Let me change the scrolling text. Beautiful. Alrighty. It's funny because the SPC said that, and I don't want to jinx it because the storm is right on that border between not doing anything and really going off. I mean, it's still trying to organize here, and it's riding in an environment which is potent. It's just right there. How fast is this storm moving? Oh, that's a storm chaser. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. I'm trying to press the polygon, gosh. Storm is moving about 25 miles per hour, so not super fast, but it's moving. You have a state for that, Avery? Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think tomorrow's start is more noteworthy. The main reason I say that, I think tonight it's definitely potential to be dangerous. The main reason I say that is just there's more people involved in tomorrow's threat. We have Kansas City, we have Dallas Fort Worth, we have Oklahoma City, we have Texarkana. So, yeah, I gotta keep an eye on all these moving pieces as well. See, we got a little bit of a radar blind spot here. I bet it's a windmill, if I had to guess. What do you guys, okay, I'm trying to think about this, but like how do I describe this? What do you guys call the machines that gather energy from the wind? I'm curious because like, I don't know. I call them windmills, but I'm curious what turbines. Like a turbine would be my other guess. Any early storm threat in Kansas City? More of a later threat for Kansas City tomorrow. Or afternoon. Like turbines just doesn't seem right to me. I don't know why. All right, let's do a little bit more of a zoomed out look here to see how our environment is developing. Let me turn off spotter network so we can actually see something. You can see our environment is developing interestingly, to say the least here. We got a couple of zones that have blown up into large thunderstorms. We got 2 warnings, both just large hail kind of driven. We got these kind of lone storms that haven't been warned at all, but probably will become hail producers here soon. And then we have our lone kind of shaped supercell, in which this is honestly, I think, the highest level threat for if a tornado were to happen, it would be here. Now, we're keeping an eye on it very closely. And is that another anticyclonic tornado? Wait. Towards, away. No, this actually might be a tornado. I think we're going to need a warning here, guys. Let's see here. Gosh, the radar it's tough. GG, I just appealed it. I know. It's. At least I figured it out. Where is that? Oh, this is currently in the northern Texas Panhandle in Lakeview, Texas, Memphis, Texas. Windmill. It's Austin the path. You're gonna see severe weather for tomorrow. Yeah, severe weather tomorrow. I do believe we have so what we have right now is what's called a couplet. Look at the red and green right next to each other. Right next to each other, guys. So if this continues, which we should be getting a new radar scan here just in 1 minute, then we probably have our first tornado of the stream here. First tornado of the stream. We will wait for confirmation on that one. Because we've had a lot of rotation pop in and out. We've not really had a sustained rotation for 2 radar scans. But taking a look at, like right now the radar right here, that's kind of where you would expect it to be. We are mere moments away from finding out. It's a little tough when you're this far away from the radar. You can see our closest radar is all the way in Amarillo. So let me see how far away that is. So about 70 miles away, that's where our radar is. So the radar beam is pretty high at that point. This is heading towards Lakeview and Memphis, Texas. I'd be ready to go to your safe place here relatively soon if this gets warned, or if we see another scan here, and which kind of proves the point of the tornado. Just want to go to here. Bryce Shelton is about to lose their windshield, so that's fun. He's right here. And you can see our hail core is just beside him. So hopefully he's out of there. But I currently have the spotter network on, which shows me all the storm chasers out there. And if he does not move here in the next minute, he's about to lose his windshield from some golf ball sized hail. That would be unfortunate. I'm leaning on I'm waiting for this new radar scan here. Should be any moment here. Any moment. There it is. What the heck is going on? Okay. Now we've got broad rotation across the entire southern portion of the storm. Yeah, this is really tricky to pinpoint because now we're going into a more messy environment. You can see we have some convection firing the south of our supercell. We have our general supercell, but it's also just not looking well shaped. You can see our development here. Maybe a little bit of a split as well. It's hard to tell because we got a blockage right here, so kind of ignore this slice. If you do the full thing, then it looks like a supercell pretty through and through. Heading towards Lakeview and Memphis, Texas. Active severe thunderstorm warning. And continuing to monitor the situation as we have over 600,000 people underneath an active tornado watch with the possibility of seeing EF3 plus tornadoes tonight. That is our current risk zone. Nothing has produced a tornado warning just yet, but a few of these storms have looked very suspicious indeed. I'm curious. All these chasers are I don't know where they're going to go. They're kind of trapped. Wait, who is this in the middle of a... Oh, no, they're taking a gravel road. It's always fun. You see a chaser just in the middle of a field. What are they doing? This guy's kind of in the middle of the field. Who is this? This Corey Hartman. I don't know who that is. I don't really know a lot of chasers, so I don't know why I would think I would know him. We try to see if we can find Reed Timmer or something. It's usually really big names. They keep their trackers off. Sometimes you can spot some funny ones. All right. Well, if you guys are just joining in, we have an active severe thunderstorm warning. We've got some rotation ongoing right here. We've got an absolute mess because the radar is kind of blocked. Could Lone Oak, Arkansas see an EF2 tornado possibility? Let me actually check that. Because a lot of Arkansas is underneath a intensity level 1 tag for tomorrow, which means EF2 plus tornadoes. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning issued. Oh, look at that. Tornado possible tag. We have our first tornado possible tag. This is in Texas. So if you're in Lakeview or Memphis, Texas, you are now underneath a tornado possible tag, severe thunderstorm warning. For Lone Oak, Arkansas, back to that one really quickly. Let me take a look. You are already underneath an EF2 plus tornado risk with that's kind of put at 2%. All right, guys, things are really starting to. One moment, my display is trying to auto shut off. What the heck? I've not had this problem. We are really starting to pick up here. So this storm could be our first. Gosh, hopefully my display doesn't die. Well, anyways, we have a very organized supercell here in Memphis, Texas. We've got over 50 chasers in the way of a giant storm producing. Now we're at 1.5 inch hail, so we're about golf ball sized hail heading towards Lakeview and Memphis, Texas. I believe multiple chasers are now losing their windshields because they are right in the hail core. Don't know what they're doing. You can see this thing is really starting to blow up in strength. We also have a tornado possible tag alongside this warning box right here. Also notice how our storm is moving more to the east. More to the east. You see that? That is a big sign that the storm is starting to feel the wind shear, as well as increase its tornado threat as well. We got our kind of Bullseye, in which we'll be keeping an eye on, or Tornado Threat, in which honestly has a pretty decent couplet here. Would not be surprised to see this tornado warned here if it continues to see this on radar, and if someone can get visual confirmation. Look at that. We have like 7 chasers all within 1 mile of each other. It's just so funny. These poor souls are all about to lose their windshields trying to dive down south to avoid this. Half the fun of today is going to be watching the over 100 chasers try to dodge large storms. I just hope everyone stays safe, because obviously this could be a very dangerous situation with the potential for EF3 plus tornadoes today. That was a brand new upgrade as of 30 minutes ago of the Storm Prediction Center, stating that very large tornadoes are possible today. And that's what we're dealing with. Dealing with some big storms. Okay, so we're almost past this really annoying radar beam point in which we can't really see well, so that'll be good. Some good news. The big thing is you can really start to see a hail core developing on this sucker. Very bright returns. Basically, when the radar shoots its beam out, the larger items that are in the sky, they reflect more. And we're getting big radar returns. We're now up to, I believe it's lime-sized hail. So we're 1.5 inches for hail size. So things are getting not crazy intense, but we're almost at the point in which if you were in the storm, you'd start to lose possibly a windshield, get a few dents in your car. You do not want to be on the hail core of this rapidly developing supercell moving in the northern Texas region. You can see this is kind of our lone storm that has a tornado threat currently, with that tornado possible tag here moving northeast east about 25 miles per hour. Is trying to rotate, broad rotation happening, nothing tight wise. Did we get a warning yet? No tornado warning just yet. However, we have a tornado possible tag warning from a severe thunderstorm warning on it. So we're like right there. We don't have the solution yet to the actual pole that was placed. Okay, hold up. How do I stop this from happening? My display is trying to turn off itself. Please stop. Hello. Fox. Shoot. Go turn off. Sorry guys, quick pause. Oh, there it is. Oh, I might have just pressed the off button myself. Well. Oh, wait, what the heck? Oh, wait, I fixed it. Probably. Automatic standby? I've never even seen this. What the heck is this? I'm, playing around with this. I, got this display from a random store in Madrid. And it was on sale. Okay. Whatever. Can you turn off? Okay, cool. Whatever. I think it's good. Alright. Sorry for that random side quest. I think we're good now. Hopefully this thing turns off. I got another display here just to help me out. Oh, we're getting some more rotation again. Probably more side. Oh, it's so close. Any debris signature? Definitely not yet, especially since we don't have the actual rotation. Okay, good. My display didn't turn off, so that's some good news, right? Yeah, if you guys are just joining in, this cell right here is basically our best bet of getting a tornado, except it's kind of right on that border between, are we going to get a tornado? What's going to happen here? Right now, it is just producing very large hail here in northern Texas. We're in northern Texas Panhandle here, just in Memphis, Texas, for reference. And we actually do have a new severe thunderstorm warning. This is such an odd severe thunderstorm warning. And let's go to it real quick. A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for western Oklahoma. This is basically all the way to the western Oklahoma. This is for I-40 as well. This is for Eric. A few storms that are really far away from the radar. This is heading to the north. You put it in motion here. Basically have storms that are screaming to the north, producing Um, I believe it's quarter size, just above quarter sized hail. Take cover. You don't want to be outside for this. Protect your stuff, your vehicles. These have a less of a tornado threat because it's kind of a what's called slop, not technical term, but it's all bunched together as one, not necessarily isolated cells that we have down more towards the southwest. So now we have three severe thunderstorm warnings within this region. Some potent storms, and also, hey now, a little bit of a surprise here. We got another supercell probably trying to fire off here. So keep an eye on that. Maybe outside of our enhanced risk. And also some broad rotation on the southwest corner of this one. And also a new severe thunderstorm warning on this one. Lots of starting to build up. So we're going to try to stick with the core stuff where we're looking here. We're in the northern Texas Panhandle. We're in western Oklahoma. Yes, bad weather for tomorrow for Kansas City. You can see a new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for Texas. This is for Headley, Quail, and Wellington for the next 55 minutes, This is being produced because of a large supercell that is heading into your region. So stay weather aware, especially for any tornado that does spin up. How's Lubbock, Texas? Lubbock is underneath a slight risk for severe weather for today. Keeping an eye on anything that can form down here. I mean, you do have a cell that's trying to form in the northeast that is moving away from you. The big question really is for you is if anything can form to the west. Main threat, I think, would be large hail there if anything does form. I know you had a large hail threat. Was it Amarillo? No, I think it was Amarillo, actually, a few days ago. That kind of surprised everyone. Got a few photos. My gosh, just a little quick side note here. Look at all of these storm chasers within the Memphis, Texas region. I mean, it is a lot of people. And some of these people are in some dangerous spots if something does get produced. So that is slightly concerning as we continue to monitor the situation. I won't be live for an extremely long time today. Unfortunately, I do have a midterm tomorrow morning. Oh, it's terrible timing, right? I only have like 2 midterms on Friday here in my study abroad, and unfortunately one is tomorrow. So probably got like 20 minutes left in me, unfortunately, guys. But stay tuned. Tomorrow I'll be live a lot longer because I'll be more of a widespread threat, and I'll have like the time and flexibility to be live. So the big question is, I think, oh man, we might have a problem here, Chief. Get some rotation starting to pull off here in Lakeview. I'm really just waiting for the storm just to be like, okay, I could feel the spinning, and then just go crazy. But truck driver heading to Syracuse, Kansas from Lubbock. Is it safe to drive? Let me take a quick look at that route. I didn't even know there was a Syracuse, Kansas. I'm not gonna lie. Taking a look at Syracuse, Kansas. Yeah, if you look up I-27. You should be okay over there. I'd be a little bit careful. I would not go too far east down in the Texas region until you get to Kansas. Then you can go a bit more further east. Should be okay. Stay weather aware, of course, throughout that. New mesoscale discussion for... Okay, let me take a look at that. The northern cluster storms. Oh, yes, I see. Oh, it seems like we might get a 40% chance of a watch. That's actually not very large. EF2 tornadoes, 55 to 70 mile per hour winds. So a little bit less of a favorable environment over here. This is over Wichita, Kansas, into north central Oklahoma and kind of towards Topeka. And you can see the threat level there. So they're kind of talking about along this entire boundary here. That's where we're going to have things fire off. Wichita Falls. Wichita Falls is right on the gradient of severe weather. You're in a marginal risk 1 out of 5. It really depends if any storm can make it all the way out there. I think the core risk you have to be worried about is large hail. There's not really a high-end risk for your region. keeping a very close eye on the supercell that is just absolutely tearing through the northern Texas panhandle towards Quail, Wellington, and Headley, Texas. Of course, Jace, drive safe out there. Storm sounds like it's forming a wall cloud inflow. Yeah, we'll be keeping an eye on it. I mean, it looks like, I don't know if it's trying to reestablish itself down to the south here, maybe of a more southern hook. The deviant motion is what is extremely dangerous in this environment as a storm chaser. We talked about how, I mean, it looks like we're having another left mover, another right mover again outside of the storm chase. And what that means is, these storms are going to split, and you think your tornado risk is going to the northeast, and all of a sudden you got a storm coming a little bit, it's backing up on you. And that's what's extremely dangerous in this environment. Extremely dangerous. That's what happens when you have over 100 storm chasers and a deviant motion. You need to put, at least in my opinion, you need to put a little bit more cushion than what you're normally used to between you and the storm, or you could have a major issue. Currently in the northern Texas panhandle. Just for reference, guys, look at every single chaser dot you see. Every dot you see is an individual storm chaser, and that's the people who have their location on. And a lot of people chase without their location on. So that's kind of the thing. It's like, wow, if we have deviant motion, and look, I mean, all these people are driving through the hail core right now. We have like 5 people in the hail core. All could be just losing their windshields right now. Let's take a look at Little Elm, Texas. For Little Elm, your main risk is going to be for tomorrow. You have a tornado, large hail, and high wind risk for tomorrow. Stay weather aware. Have those plans in place for your emergency action plan. We'll be live tomorrow covering those storms as well. It's going to be a very tricky day. Generally a very widespread risk, so there's going to be a lot to keep track of. But we'll be posting updates as well as an update tomorrow morning here on the page for general forecasting timing-wise. So stay safe out there. Where's the storm moving to? Well, we can put it in motion here. You can see how all of our storms are moving. The more mature storms are moving in an eastward direction. Just generally, we're kind of moving in a north-northeast direction. But just take a moment to look at an absolute interesting storm motion here. Notice how, like, we have this originating storm here. It's kind of moving a northeast vector. Now we have a reestablishment of its updraft, and now we're kind of moving east. And there you go. We got kind of a new storm. We have a right mover and a left mover. You can see how we have this one, kind of that base one. That's going to go north. This is going to go more east. That's that deviant motion we're talking about. And that's what could cause some serious problems here, moving towards Memphis, Texas. Just a reminder, we do have other severe thunderstorm warnings out for large hail. Everything is for large hail right now. No tornado warning just yet. A little surprising. I'm not going to lie, a little surprising. Okay, there we go. I was just trying to fix the thing so it's a little bit less chaotic on screen. Oh boy, we might be getting something here, guys. So, yeah, we've got a few of these radar scans in which we have like one radar scan of rotation and then just like pieces out. We'll see. We got another another scan of rotation here. But yes, we're having another kind of split here. Let's take a look at how this is developed. We might have a tornado here. Man, this is so dangerous. Look at all these storm chasers. If a large tornado develops here, we have someone right in the way of this one. Right here. Yikes. Keeping an eye on this, guys. Keeping an eye on this. The environment is there. Just have to remind everyone, the environment is there. If this storm can organize in a fashion, it can tap into the environment. Large tornadoes are on the table. The Storm Prediction Center did come out and say EF3 tornadoes are possible associated with these storms. You need to be weather aware across this tornado watch area in northern Texas Panhandle and the western portions of Oklahoma. We're currently monitoring a situation in which we have over 50 chasers on a storm. My predictions is currently 6 chasers inside the hail core, and currently at least 1 chaser downstream of a possible forming tornado. So, add those factors all together, and you're like, what is going on? Like, we have a serious risk here for storm chaser convergence. Missouri's not going to see severe weather risk for today. Going to be more concerned about tomorrow as well as your Saturday. How's it going, Zach? I'm very, very interested to see what this next radar scan is because we have pretty decent rotation here on the last radar scan. We'll see if we get anything, the actual drop down fully on our next radar scan here. This is heading towards Memphis, Texas, by the way. That's a pretty large town. So I want to put them on alert here. We are monitoring very closely on the storm. There's also, want to see here. Also want to say we have an observed quarter-sized hail, and we have also tornado possible tag associated with the severe thunderstorm warning. Tulsa is okay right now. Tornado very, very possible ongoing right now. We don't have the warning just yet, but I think if we get another radar scan here, and another radar scan, it's borderline. You see those reds and greens right next to each other? That's what I'm looking at right now. Do we have reds and greens? And just for reference, what that means is the radar is kind of over here. It's like way off in the distance. It's mirrored. It's over here. Green is coming towards the radar. The red is going away from the radar. You have those reds and greens right next to each other. That's where you have rotation. And right now we have at least some establishment of rotation happening just southwest of Memphis, Texas. Austin's okay? Yes, Austin's okay right now. Severe weather threat is for your tomorrow in Austin, Texas. I'm here to answer your guys' questions, guide you through this current severe weather setup, as well as I can answer any questions. I know there is over like 20 million people in the severe weather risk for tomorrow as well. I'm concerned about both days. Both have severe weather risk. There's more of a widespread severe weather risk for tomorrow because there's more people involved. So here to answer you guys' questions, guide you through the next few days of severe weather. Follow for more updates, not only the live streams as well as updates on the page as well. Be sure to check frequently because I make a lot of updates just so you are up to date and safe on these severe weather events. Let's move up back towards the west here, or back towards the east in western Oklahoma. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning for western Oklahoma. This includes Sealing, Route 412, Route 60. This just general cluster of storms is producing large hail. Looks like we're at quarter-sized hail heading towards the northeast, 60-mile-per-hour winds. Tulsa County. Tulsa is more of a severe weather risk for tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be your main event. Okay. Make sure we're keeping the radar close. We're still moving northeast here, east with the supercellus. That's really starting to split up. So, the quite interesting thing is, that latest radar scan still have some broad rotation. There are a lot of people in. What is going on? All of these people inside the hail core of this supercell right now. I don't really understand why we want to all lose our windshield at the same time. It's quite interesting. I guess that's what happens. Look at all these roads. They all come into Memphis, so it's kind of hard to go between all these places. And I guess there is a road that kind of goes here, but that's probably like a dirt road. My driving experience in Oklahoma, I know that some of these roads, they look like roads. It's definitely dirt. You can see they might look like roads that you can drive on well until you drive on them and you're like, why did I bring my Honda Civic onto a dirt road? It's just it's impossible. Thank you, Michelle, for the follow. Appreciate that. Welcome to the Randy Other family. And we're keeping a very close eye on the supercell moving northeast in the northern Texas panhandle towards Wellington, Quail, and Headley, Texas. Currently have an enhanced risk 3 out of 5 and an EF3 plus tornado threat designated by the Storm Prediction Center. So far, we have avoided any tornado warning just yet. Looks like we haven't had a supercell that is able to fully tap into the conditions of the atmosphere that have presented itself. We have the ingredients on the table, but to really tap into them, we need a mature supercell that is in clear air. This one has struggled to gain its full capability, which is some pretty good news here. We don't want them to gain, obviously, support and strength here because the ingredients on the table are enough to elevate a storm in which we could see a strong tornado here, especially when we're marching this tornado right towards Memphis, Texas, a pretty large town, at least relatively for the northern Texas panhandle, very rapidly here. See those resin greens? This is a nasty looking supercell. starting to develop a hook on this end right here, and does not take a meteorologist. You're looking at the couplet right here, reds and greens right next to each other. We're keeping a very close eye. Obviously, there's a lot of people who have eyes on this, which is some pretty good news just generally. I mean, I'm talking about the negatives in storm chasing, but I should be talking about also the positives. The positives are we have about 50 people around the storm right now, so at least someone is watching the base of the cloud to see if a tornado is dropping. That's why it's good news is, a lot of these people are going to be reporting to the National Weather Service. So when a tornado does happen, we'll have an immediate confirmation on the ground if there's someone there watching. But man, looking at the current live radar, we might have a lot of people losing their windshields right now. Currently driving through the hail core of a supercell. It's a great way to start off the chase. The chase season is just destroying your windshield. I currently count 10 people in the hail core of the supercell. It's sometimes just funny to see something like that. Hopefully they're staying safe. Nothing bad. As we continue to monitor the situation very closely. New radar scan coming in. Still broad rotation ongoing on the southern quadrant of the supercell here. Moving northeast towards Memphis, Texas. The panhandle, Memphis, Texas. Still a very messy looking supercell. Messy. Guys are enjoying the stream. Leave a like in the comments. We're almost at 10,000 likes. Help me get there. Help me battle the TikTok algorithm. Little victory I have to say is, well, I'm now banned again because I don't think you're allowed to play like radar loops or like looped over stuff on TikTok Live, which I guess is fair. But I was banned from like gifting for like 5 weeks, and I was on support for 4 weeks, and finally 3 days ago I got unbanned. The long-term ban was canceled, so that's amazing. Other than I'm banned again, but the ban that's currently in place is underneath appeal, and might actually. Well, it's also very temporary. The current ban is just for the current stream, so it's not as worse as what has been going on for the past, weeks. So, just a little update on that. Hopefully you guys are hanging in there. I'm hanging in there. We'll see. I'm not probably, unfortunately, I do have a midterm, guys, tomorrow. I have to wake up early for. So I'm probably going to be live just a little bit longer here. Moderating this supercell very closely. Might see something. We got like just broad rotation heading towards Memphis, Texas. We're just about a mile off Memphis, Texas. Let's see here. So we'll see. Probably won't be live for too much longer. But tomorrow I have a completely clear schedule. I'm honestly more worried about tomorrow just because of the population density. So I'll be on. I'll be live, turned on. We'll be tracking possibly multiple tornadoes at the same time. I would not be surprised for that to happen. So stay tuned for that one. It's going to be a pretty intense day tomorrow. I'm going to step away to refill my water, and I'll be right back. All right, so I have a question for everyone. What temperature do you guys set your house at? Like, what is like your go-to temperature? I'm curious what everyone like. I guess this kind of depends on the time of year, but I'm just curious what in the world is going on down here? We have an absolute just mess fest. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning here for northern Oklahoma, heading towards Cherokee, Alva, This is for 1.25 inch hail and 60 mph winds. Continue to, what the heck? Road is covered in hail. Well, there you go. We got accumulating hail ongoing in Texas here. I'm waiting for the next radar scan here from the rotation. Always 69 and 72 degrees. It's honestly relatively cold from people I've talked to or like I know. I'm a fan of like 72. 72 is pretty good for me. You know, one of those, like, if I ever get to own a house, one of those things I would really like is like the thermostats you can like program, because like if you could like set the temperature to like 69 degrees like when you go to sleep, but like have it warm up where it's like 73 like when you wake up, like that would be amazing. Like that'd be perfect. Okay, we're really getting some weird interference going on the radar here. We're getting like right to the border of like, okay, which radar should we use? Still some side lobe. Currently 63. The question was what unless you keep your house at 63 degrees, what is like your house temperature set at? Just curious. I'm definitely like a 72 type person. I like my 72 degrees. 70. That's pretty chilly. Oh, I knew Supercell might have entered the chat here. No secret, Supercell. Down to the south here, we got a new severe thunderstorm warning for basically no one. There's 0 towns. Well, I guess Lakeview is back in a severe thunderstorm warning. Got a little bit of rotation on this one, honestly, so we'll keep an eye on that. Just probably will end the stream, unfortunately, soon. Unless we get a tornado warning here soon, unless I see something, probably wrap it up. The threat will still on go for until midnight tonight, CST time. So we got 70, 72. Yeah, 72 is my go-to for house temperature. I like it a little bit cool. Some people like I know who like at 75 or 74. I'm like, you're psycho. Like that is way too warm. I just feel like I'm sweating in my own house. How is that enjoyable? It's kind of funny watching all these people over here who have decided to chase this garbage. They're never going to see anything. 69 to 70, yeah, like that's fair. Those are understandable. Oh yeah, I wanted to turn off spotter stuff. I think tomorrow will be more interesting. I mean, you know, we're still pretty early event here, and we probably do have a tornado maybe here. Maybe. Got a nice little hail core forming on this bad boy too. Funny thing, there is over 100 chasers right now. There are 0. Wait, I just turned them off, but let me just check. I think there's 0. No, there's 1. There's 1 chaser on this storm. Uno chaser. There are probably 60 chasers on this northern storm here. That's kind of funny. Aware, we're currently in the Texas Panhandle. You can see all these polygons here. We got a bunch of severe thunderstorm warnings, mainly out for quarter-sized hail and 60 mph winds. We have accumulating hail in this region that was reported. So that means it is like covering the surface. San Antonio is going to be tomorrow for severe weather. Stay tuned for that. Stay tuned. Okay. I'm going to give it one more radar scan. If I don't see anything that's like interesting, I probably will wrap up the stream. I do apologize, guys. Tomorrow, I promise you, I promise. I'm going to be live for almost everything. And unfortunately, I do have a midterm tomorrow. I have a Spanish midterm at like 10 a.m. So I have to wake up. But tomorrow I have nothing the next day. So We'll be live, and I'm happy, kind of happy with that, because this threat, it is high, at least relatively, 3 out of 5. Enhanced this early season, but it is a lot less people involved, right? We don't have like huge population centers. Tomorrow we have over 20 million people, including large cities like Chicago, Dallas, Fort Worth, Oklahoma City, Kansas City. So I will be live for that one, and I'll be on top of it possibly for like 5-6 hours, which is fine. But unfortunately, just because I don't want to fail my Spanish exam, I study, don't worry. Just want to get some sleep in before I have it. I will be wrapping up the stream here and I just still got another radar scan, so I think I will be wrapping it up, actually. This is the final call, okay? So we'll kind of break it down here. Last thing, there's ongoing tornado watch. This is going to go on for the next, 5 hours at least. So still got a long way to go. I can go over, just to wrap it up, because I know there's people here who are in threat zones for later. The last thing I will talk about are the convective outlooks for the rest of the week. So here's today. Nothing surprising. Slight risk stretches all the way through Wichita, Kansas. A current bullseye is where we've been watching for the past, how long? We were live for 2 hours. Pretty good. Tomorrow, this is where we're talking about over 20 million people underneath risk. We actually have an increasing risk of tornadoes over in Michigan, of all places. Generally, our highest level of risk, I don't know where the cities are. Highest level of risk is in this region, including large cities like Kansas City, Springfield, Oklahoma City, Dallas, Fort Worth, Texarkana. Kind of this core region is underneath severe weather risk. Here is your risk for tornadoes out of this, because the highest risk is underneath the yellow. We also have a SIG 1, which means intensity level 1. EF2 tornadoes plus are possible there, including Chicago. Quite interesting. We look at winds. SIG 1 includes the northern portion of the risk. That is plus 75 mile per hour winds. And kind of our more widespread risk is large hail. This is actually what's driving our enhanced risk, where we have a 30% chance to see significant level 1, which is up to tennis ball sized hail across Kansas City, Springfield, eastern Wichita, and just east of Oklahoma City. That significant risk does stretch all the way through places like San Antonio for tomorrow. Do you have any tornado thing for tomorrow? Yes. So San Antonio is honestly just outside of the main tornado threat for tomorrow. I'd stay tuned. Your core threat for tomorrow in San Antonio is large hail. Large hail. All right. Lastly, this is kind of a wild card, right? And I kind of saw this coming with large scale stuff. West of Chicago is underneath a slight risk for tornadoes, significant wind, and large hail. So, and even Chicago is underneath a intensity level 1 tornado risk. So that means Chicago's EF2 plus tornado risk, but the actual chance of it is low, but the intensity is 1. Any tornadoes yet? Not yet, but we're doing a wrap up because I have a Spanish exam tomorrow. I promise I'll be live you look at this threat compared to today. We have over 20 million people, probably even more now. I haven't looked at the update. We have Indianapolis, we have Chicago, Milwaukee, Green Bay, St. Louis, Kansas City, Wichita, Springfield, Oklahoma City, Dallas, Fort Worth, Abilene, Shreveport, Memphis, St. Louis. We have a lot of cities involved tomorrow. I'll be live for that as well. And last thing I want to say is we have kind of a surprise risk here, right? We have a very large risk involving over 20 states. Severe weather risk, I think tomorrow's severe weather risk is probably 20 states. We have a slight risk for Pittsburgh for Saturday. That is mainly driven from a high wind risk associated with a QLCS, a linear line of storms. You could see 60 to 70 mile per hour winds there. Stay tuned for updates. If you have any outdoor plans, I know it's nice out, at least for Pittsburgh native here. Unfortunately, be weather aware. You have to be careful here because we also have like I said, the significant level is down south. That's probably going to be for hail, but you do have a chance for severe weather as well. Kind of a surprise, right? You don't usually see this too often in March, but we will have enough energy to actually work with some stuff here. Yes, it is heading towards Ohio. You can see Ohio is within the risk. Saturday. Okay, this is Rainy Day Weather's last call. If anyone has any risk questions for today, tomorrow, or Saturday, Happy to answer it. Last little thing I'll kind of leave off at a tidbit is we do have a Tuesday risk already assigned to look at the same place, Central Plains. Thank you for the kind words, of course. Stay safe, everyone. Of course, just a little last reminder is just because I'm ending the stream does not mean the risk is anywhere near over. It just means I don't want to fail my Spanish exam. Why can't you gift? It's because I accidentally played the radar loop like 8 times, and TikTok does not like when you play loops on streams, and I got banned from gifting. They're being very aggressive with gift banning. The good news is the next stream will be fine, so it's just a temporary ban, which is better than what I just got approved appeal for, like a permanent ban, which was, oh my gosh, guys, it was a disaster. Okay, I'm seeing the last little bit more people joining. Guys, we have severe weather risk. Here's tomorrow. Over 20 million. Let me just actually let's look because I'm curious. Let's see how many people it is. We'll search together. Tomorrow's risk is for 30 million. 30. Well, I don't know if you add them, actually. Kansas City. How many people live in Kansas City? Okay, well, I'm going to do adding anyways. I don't really care. 50 million people. Okay, that's a lot of people. So that's why it's so much more important that I'm going to be streaming tomorrow. So over 50 million people are underneath severe weather risk for tomorrow. And that's how we're going to be live. We're talking about tornadoes, large hail, high winds. Tornadoes plus EF2, high winds plus 75 miles per hour, large hail plus tennis ball sized. So it's going to be a lot of people. A lot of people underneath severe weather risk. And lastly, here's your Saturday. Kind of a rare risk for this early in the season. Places like Pittsburgh, Buffalo, Huntington, across Nashville, Memphis, Tennessee Valley, down through the South, Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, and of course, coastal Texas, San Antonio, Houston as well. All right, last call, guys. Is there going to be a tornado in Ohio Saturday possible? Yes, it's definitely possible. Isolated tornado risk. I think I'm mainly leaning towards a high wind risk in Ohio, but an isolated tornado I think cannot be ruled out. Any last further comments? Thoughts, feelings, regrets, admissions? Maybe not that. Well, I hope everyone has a great rest of their afternoon and evening. Oh, wait, hold up. Last one, because... Oh, my God. I'm not ending the stream, guys. Get baited. We have a tornado warning. We have just been issued an active tornado warning for Oklahoma. Oh, my gosh. All right, let's do it. I said I was going to get off, but as storms, this is literally... I literally was ending the stream. All right, let's do it. We have an active tornado warning for Oklahoma. This is valid for the next 38 minutes moving northeast. Let's see how fast we're moving. This is looking pretty fast here. 30 miles per hour. If you are in Clio Springs or if you are in... Oh, yeah, you can see it right there. Very messy kind of look. It is embedded within a lot of rain and a large hail core, moving towards Route 60, heading towards Route 412 and Clio Springs. If you are in Clio Springs or within this region here in Oklahoma, you need to be taking shelter immediately. Immediately. Detroit is underneath a severe weather threat for Saturday. Sorry for the quick little end bait, but we'll do, well, I think this will be the last thing I'll cover anyways, but we do have an active tornado warning. So we have an active tornado threat to people here, and not a ton of people. Let me check what the population size is. Literally was going to wrap it. Okay, it's 979 people, so the chances of someone actually, not good though. We have a possibly large tornado embedded within a hail core here. This is a not good look heading towards Route 60. Curious if there's any chasers on this. Just curious. Storms. Wait, that's temperatures. Oh, I missed it. There we go. 0. There are 0 storm chasers. There are over 100 storm chasers storm chasing right now, and there are 0 storm chasers on the actual one tornado that's happening. That is quite ironic. This storm is heading northeast at 30 miles per hour, about to cross over Route 40. We are in Oklahoma. An active tornado warning has just been issued for this region. Take shelter immediately. This is showing, just proving the environment is capable of producing tornadoes. This one is a possibly big one because of the current scan on the radar looking pretty healthy, especially this high in the way. Please do not try to visually confirm this tornado here, right here, because it is, if you don't, or if you can see, the actual rotation is embedded within rain on all sides. It's what's called rain-wrapped tornado, and thank you, Only Looking, for all that support. We have a rain-wrapped tornado heading towards Clio Springs, Oklahoma, moving northeast at 30 miles per hour. Let's look exactly where we're at right now, where we have a current active tornado warning. You can see here, okay, let's drop that. Here's Oklahoma City right here, and here is our current tornado warning right there. Yes, no one is filming on this one. Funny enough, we have over 100 chasers currently out in the United States, in this region, in the one place that an actual tornado is happening. There are zero chasers. San Antonio is going to be getting severe weather for tomorrow and Saturday. Detroit, Michigan, Saturday, mainly Saturday. Okay, yeah, if you're just joining in, it's a quick little emergency update here. We have a tornado crossing Route 60. Crossing Route 60 here in Oklahoma. Sounds like we have this on the ground. Let's check. We have arrived. Okay, let's see if we have it on the ground or not. We're a little far away from radar, so I don't know if we close to this. Oh, I can see the hook a little bit better on this one. Honestly, don't see the CC drop too confidently out there. Oklahoma City is underneath a risk for today. You have a slight risk of severe weather. Kind of right on that border. I mean, stay weather aware for kind of all threats: large hail, high winds, and tornadoes. Active tornado warning. I mean, might have been on the ground, but I mean, honestly, with the just based off of the actual velocity here, the couplet. Oh gosh, this is not a good development here. We actually might be getting possibly into a large tornado. Looking at the couplet here. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty obvious there. I'm surprised it took that long to get the warning out. Look at that. A very, very tight couplet. You can see the blues and reds right next to each other, heading northeast at 35 miles per hour, heading towards Clio Springs. This is possibly a large and dangerous tornado rotating. The only good news I have, it's really going through an unpopulated area right now. You can see a very messy storm, but generally you can see the actual supercell shape right here. It's very messy, but it is now tapping into the full power of the area, of the system. Ethan, are you able to see if there's any local news stations over there covering it? Honestly, there's not a lot of people in this population zone. I know news stations are mandated to report on tornado warnings within their kind of zones, so there probably is someone reporting it. I can tell you there is 0 active storm chasers on it, so this is kind of not the area you would target, at least initially looking at everything. And right now, you might be able to visually confirm it from the south. But obviously there's no one out there anyway, so it's hard to confirm with no one out there. So if you're just joining in, we currently have an active tornado warning in Oklahoma, and things are really starting to get a little crazy here with all of these warning polygons. So the yellow warning polygons you're seeing, those are severe thunderstorm warnings. The red one that I'm currently highlighting is a tornado warning, active tornado warning for the next 35 minutes here in Oklahoma. We're in the northwest corner of Oklahoma. And, okay. Yeah, I don't see any, chaser dots, but, yeah. Maybe the only chaser who's kind of close is Noah Singleton. I don't really know who that is anyways. And man, that rotation's holding on strong. We got a possibly tornado on the ground here. Lots of farms. You can see all these roads here, lots of farm roads. And there you go. Really showing off the power of this environment. This is holding a long time. You can see we're going a little bit further north here. Hopefully these people will seek shelter. We're in the enhanced zone for our tornado risk. You can see actually the hook right here. And that points right to our actual rotation. Where is this? This is in northwest Oklahoma. We're currently just west of Fairview, Oklahoma, Clio Springs. We currently have a tornado on the ground, a very dangerous storm that is producing golf ball sized hail and heading northeast about 30 miles per hour. Let's see if there is a CC drop. I can check again. We're a little far away from the radar, so it's going to be a bit tough to see. Nothing that's like super obvious. There's a little bit of suspicion right along here, but nothing that's super obvious to me. Honestly, with the velocity, this is enough to sell me that it's on the ground, just because of the strength that we're currently seeing from the storm. So much lightning involved in this absolutely monster of a storm as racing towards the northeast. Currently see our tornado warning is continuing for the next 30 minutes heading towards Clio Springs. Tornado on the ground. It looks like there was a funnel cloud report a while ago actually. What was this? 3 a.m. Oh wow, they have a pretty long view of it then. There's someone on it. There's someone watching it. Zach Orange has reported a funnel 2 minutes ago, 3/4 of the way to the ground to his northeast. But man, if you look at the current rotation on the radar, this thing is absolutely zipping. Heading to the northeast. Okay. It's kind of ironic everyone is over here. Look at this absolute conga line. Oh my god. Look at all those cars. Oh my god, that's insane. I think these cells are like doing nothing. Look at all these chasers. That's so crazy. That is so crazy. I don't know. That's just so funny to me. Okay. No, there's nothing going over there. Is it confirmed? There was a confirmed funnel, at least by a storm chaser. Based off of rotation, we at least had, the chaser said it was 3/4 of the way to the ground a couple of minutes ago. I think I'm seeing probably a CC drop. Advanced AFB radar. Oh yeah, I don't think I have access to that. You can see the really strong rotation just generally across the entire storm. Still heading towards the northeast here at 30 miles per hour. Looks like they're continuing it, just getting a new update. Or slicing it so it's more updated. There it goes. There's a slice. Fairview is very close to this warning. You'll be a little bit cautious. It looks like you're going to be fine. 3/4, sorry, 3/4. That's what the report said. 3/4 of the way to the ground. Someone's screaming. Anything coming to North Alabama? Not today. Not today. You do have a risk for severe weather Saturday. You guys are just joining in. We currently have an active tornado warning for northwest Oklahoma, heading towards Clio Springs, and Route 60, just past Route 60, heading towards Route 412, about 35 miles per hour. This was reported with a funnel about 3/4 of the way down to the ground, but right now looking at the latest rotation-wise, would be surprised if it was on the ground and possibly lifted, and now looking at the latest rotation, possibly on the ground again. So we have a very rapidly developing situation here. This is the start of possibly a multi-hour tornado threat in western Oklahoma and northern Texas Panhandle. This is the start of a multi-day threat. And hope you guys are okay. Hopefully you're weather aware. If you want more updates, I won't be live for too much longer, so make sure you follow and ask me any questions you guys have. Tomorrow I think is going to be a larger threat. Arkansas, not today, but tomorrow. Don't fail Spanish. I'll try not to say fail Spanish. Well, I'll try to walk it through the rest of this, at least the most of the rest. If rotation drops off this warning, I'm probably gonna go to sleep. I have, for context, guys, I'm studying abroad in Madrid, and I have a Spanish midterm in 7 hours, and it's 3 a.m. here. So, yes, that is my current status. Yay! Go academics! Gotta get my degree. This is why I live in the Midwest. Honestly, the Midwest is... You see your fair share of severe weather here. Look at all this lightning, though. Psh, crazy. You be in a lot of lightning, and then, boom, giant tornado heading towards your region. You're going ace it. Thank you, Shadow Hunter, for the encouragement. I think I'll be fine. Honestly, I think I'll be fine. I studied. The thing that's really surprising me here is the general strength of rotation across the entire body of the lower half of the actual storm complex. So you have the couplet right here, but you actually have a full rotation happening all around the storm. Michigan is going to see severe weather for tomorrow. You're actually in some portions of Michigan are in underneath a severe weather risk. See if anything else is causing issues while I'm trying to struggle to cover the rest of the storm. Yeah, I mean, this is a pretty serious storm. It's pretty large. Pretty large and heading to the northeast very quickly. Just putting an alert for 412. It looks like we're having a little bit more of a northward motion. Hopefully we can avoid Clio Springs here. That'd be nice to avoid any population centers underneath this tornado warning here in northwest Oklahoma. This threat is going to continue, especially as the storm moves to the northeast here, putting areas like Cherokee and Carmen and Helena underneath alert. Just so you're aware, you're underneath a tornado watch, but this tornado-producing storm is moving into your region. This is all in northwest Oklahoma. Northwest Oklahoma. Serious tornado threat unfolding across this localized region. Keeping an eye on the rest of these storms here. None of them have really materialized into anything of note. The only really big one, at least tornado-wise, and yikes, you do not like to see this, where you have a very large-scale rotation starting to take shape here. Okay, let's switch radars. Let's see if we have this is a pretty good radar, but I'm just curious. Yeah, maybe, it's hard to say. Yeah, we might have a serious problem here, guys. I don't know if you're seeing this, but we have just an absolute monster hook. We possibly might be seeing a large tornado, unfortunately, try to develop here. If you know anyone in Clio Springs, Oklahoma, now is the time to alert them that a possibly very large and dangerous tornado, not liking this, is trying to form. The big thing is, we have the rotation heading toward, we have the winds heading towards, but you have also a extremely strong wind indicator moving away from the radar. Let's take a look at this. 90 mile per hour winds, just generally. The actual wall cloud of the actual storm is moving about 90 miles per hour around, and you can take the gate-to-gate motion of that. It's going to be about 180 miles per hour gate to gate, and that is concerning, especially because of how large the rotation is. And that's why I'm putting Clio Springs underneath extreme alert. You need to be seeking shelter immediately. This is a rapidly developing situation in which you can see those greens and reds right next to each other. Now, in this case, moving into yellows and browns. You can see I guess you can't see that, but the bottom portion, we're now moving to the 90 mile per hour range. We've got a pretty serious storm here that is tapping into everything. Make sure you guys hydrate. Of course, the moment I said I was going to go offline, it's like, oh yes, let's give a wedge. Let's give a huge tornado heading towards a small town in Oklahoma. That's how it goes. I've had that happen multiple times too. You know, the biggest thing that's concerning me here, generally, is just take a look at our wind field just absolutely enlarging here. Gonna highlight this area. Notice how there's a few browns here. Notice how we have a just absolutely massive wind field starting to grow. So what that means is the upper, we're looking not at the surface, but just off the surface. The actual storm complex, the base, which is called the wall cloud, is now rotating really fast around the storm. And that is obviously very evident on our pretty evident hook echo on this side of my screen. That is going to set the scene for possibly a very large tornado to start to develop here. So if you know anyone in Clio Springs, Oklahoma, please tell them to seek shelter immediately. Possibly in the works here, a very large and dangerous tornado. I mean, you set the card straight, right? And this is kind of where we're heading here. We're currently in western Oklahoma, northwest Oklahoma, Clio Springs. Possibly a very large and dangerous tornado in progress. Tornado warning indicated. Currently 20 minutes left on the clock for this one. A rapidly growing storm. And oh, yikes, that is not what you want to see. We have a very large couplet now. And we have the only good news I have with the storm is it currently is hitting just farm fields, but we possibly have a very large and dangerous tornado heading towards Clio Springs right now. Happy to answer your guys' questions, but I'm going to be continuing to track the progress of the storm here. This is our first tornado warning, and this is looking extremely dangerous. Extremely dangerous. Yes, it looks like the radar is really having a hard time figuring out what's going on, but it seems like most of the green is inflow here. So you can see that inflow. Let's see what our marks at. Sitting around 40 miles, 46 miles per hour, and then you can see all the reds and the browns about 90 miles per hour. And that's kind of the designation of everything wrapping around each other. And the actual couplet is right here. Right here. There's 3 boxes in which right now measures about 0.6 miles across. So, and possibly a very, very dangerous situation unfolding right now. We're currently in Oklahoma. New radar scan. Oof. Still continuing to see this just absolutely large couplet form. But right here, like obviously you have the entire storm complex moving. We have a couplet right there again. And possibly a debris ball. Now that I'm thinking about it, let's take a look at our correlation coefficient. Wait, that's not it. Come on, my brain. Okay, seeing a little bit of a dropout. Yikes, this is an absolute monster. I mean, it's kind of split away from anything else that's been happening around it. And you can see just absolute huge hook on this thing. Got a serious situation developing right now in northwest Oklahoma. Not good. So if you guys are just joining in, we have... Okay, so it's insane. Is it on the ground? Or unfortunately, because of copyright laws, I am not allowed to stream anyone's storm chase, which is totally fine. You know, that's how it goes. But you can tell me what's going on if we have confirmation. But yes, oh gosh, we also possibly have a nudger cell. Yeah, this might turn. Oh my god, this is not good. Yikes. Okay, so what is going on right now, guys? We have a very, very large storm really starting to produce a very large, possibly tornado here. Oh yeah, I forgot it's dark there. And this thing is huge, possibly. If we look, this is heading right towards Clio Spring. We're in northwest Oklahoma. And we have an extremely fast rotating storm. And you know what even is more concerning here is we have a cell that's about to get enveloped on the south side of the storm, in which that could enhance the actual spinning here of this actual storm. Still radar indicated. Of course, it's going to be hard to visually confirm a tornado now. But man, even if you just look on radar here, it is an impressive storm. me see if I can. I was trying to drop the lightning, honestly. I was like, I probably don't need that. Oh, yeah. It's right here. Yeah, okay, so we have a pretty dangerous situation. The only good news I honestly have is it's not like a hitting any town right now, but Cleo Springs, you need to be in your safe place immediately. If you know anyone in Cleo Springs, I know there's only about 900 people that live there. Please seek shelter immediately. A large and dangerous tornado possibly here, just based off radar estimates and, I mean, looking at the actual structure of the storm right here. We have a... Okay, so there is confirmation there is power lines down. So this is confirmed. Tornado on the ground heading towards Cleo Springs in Oklahoma. So we are in northwest Oklahoma. Confirmed tornado on the ground just west of Fairview. This is heading towards Route 412 in northwest Oklahoma. You see our hail core on the left side of your screen. We can see our couplet on the right side of your screen. Those are where the reds and greens are right next to each other. Notice how broad of an area we have, extremely fast moving winds across this rotation wise. That means this entire base of the storm is rotating really fast in a counterclockwise rotation, and then our surface kind of area where that's actually reaching the surface is right where that purple circle is as well. Looks like well, the radar is having a really hard time designating what the inflow is looking like. This is not close to Amarillo, Texas. No, this is in northwest Oklahoma. A little bit more into the east of. Well, we can get perspective here. So yeah, if you guys are just joining in, we have a significant event happening. This is going to be really bad because I can tell you one thing: when you have a hook start to get really far away from the storm, it's going to get occluded. Then what's going to happen here is it's going to basically get sucked into the storm. Think of a figure skater with their arms out right now. So the figure skater's arms are out. The supercell's arms are out. We have a tornado possibly on the ground. It's going to move in and basically bring the arms in. And if you don't remember what happens, that really, really amps up the spin here on the storm. Not a good look here for... and here we are. This is exactly where we are. We're in northwest Oklahoma. We've basically just become a huge, an absolute monster supercell heading into Cleo Springs, Oklahoma. And also just to put it in perspective, we have a nudger cell that's going to be heading into the eastern quadrant, which could force this occlusion. An absolute monster. Oh my gosh. You do not see this radar presentation very often. This is textbook supercell, and you don't need to be a meteorologist to see an absolute dangerous hook here heading in towards Cleo Springs. You need to be taking shelter immediately. Time is running out. Time is running out here. But yeah, I mean, this is a very defined hook. Very defined hook. One of the most defined hooks we've had. Definitely the most defined hook we've had so far. This kind of stream here. This is really kind of came out of the woodwork, and this is pretty easy to see. The relative velocity, we're having a hard time on pinpointing the inflow here, but you can still see, that rotation right in that realm. I'm more relying on the actual radar display. I mean, this display of a supercell does not happen very often, where you have a hook this far away from the actual kind of body of the supercell. Hoping this really starts to occlude. Even best thing that honestly could happen is an occlusion, in which the tornado threat would kind of jump to the north here towards 412. Hopefully no one's on 412, but we can avoid Cleo Springs here. Looks like a small town of about 900 people in the way of this tornado warning. Please seek shelter immediately. We have a very dangerous situation developing. Yikes. You do not see this on radar presentation very often, guys. Do not. Looks like we do have a chaser. No singleton on it. Let's see if I can pull that up. Just for my own sake. Okay, so the PDS tornado warning. So those are usually reserved for population centers. I think they're going to wait just a little bit longer. I think they might issue PDS tornado warning if The actual rotation keeps going here. Okay, hold up. I'm trying to pull up a stream myself. I actually cannot find it. This person, I like have their name, but I cannot find it. Does anyone like know what they're streaming underneath? Well, anyways, you can see that the storm is hauling towards Clio Springs. Unfortunately, I don't think it's YouTube. Is it just Noah? What is the name on YouTube? Is it Noah Singleton? Yeah. Oh, that's what I'm trying. These people who have like clickbait, like I know most of these tornadoes in these thumbnails are clickbait. Well, guys, it does not get much worse than this for the radar presentation. I'm actually going to take a screenshot because this is pretty crazy to see. This presentation on radar right now, a very large and dangerous presentation for a tornado here. I mean, look at that. Absolutely insane hook heading in towards Clio Springs, a town of 900 people. We have confirmation this tornado was on the ground at least a few minutes ago. And that is from a storm chaser confirmation. And now we have look at the radar right beneath me. That giant hook. That is the spin. I'm going to use a better color. That is the spin just happening across the entire storm. I mean, this is insane. This is insane. This is heading towards Clio Springs, Oklahoma. Possibly a very large and dangerous tornado about to enter the region here. You should be in your safe place right now. No time for delay, guys. No time for delay. Should be in your safe place. Hate to see such a small town in the way of a possibly significant tornado threat here. Keeping a very close eye on developments. I mean, unfortunately, if you have an inclusion anyways, it's going to get stronger. So this is extremely dangerous. Now, please zoom out. Yeah, I'll zoom out a bit here. Just for reference for where we're at, we're just northwest of Fairview, Oklahoma, in the northwest corner of Oklahoma. This is insane. This is absolutely bonkers, this supercell presentation. One moment. Okay. I'm just getting a post out. Okay, yeah. Continuing to track the storm, new radar scan in place, and man, can't really get much worse than this. You have a extremely extended large hook heading in towards Clio Springs, a population of 900, and a very large. This is an extremely dangerous situation in which I've honestly never seen a hook this extended before. You can literally see the storm get stretched around the rotation itself. That is incredible. Like this full rotation is 6 miles across. The actual couplet here right now is about 1.5 miles across. This is not good, guys. This is not good. Have we been upgraded to PDS, or are you just saying PDS? Yeah, I mean, we really have to hope for a miracle here to avoid Clio Springs, because unfortunately this thing is on a collision course. Just trying to get an emergency update out on some of the other platforms, because I think this is an incredibly important time here. I've honestly have never seen a radar presentation this insane before. That is a hook. Like, this is really concerning here. And we continue to see, I think we're about to see the occlusion here, so maybe the actual spin will come more closer into the storm, which unfortunately will strengthen the storm. It will strengthen the tornado temporarily. That's what happened during the Enderlin tornado, the EF5 tornado, in which it had its rotation, it had its circulation over here, but then it brought in its arms. We're using the figure skater reference again. It brought in its arms, conserves its its energy, and it just absolutely tears. It brings down a huge tornado. I hope everyone in Clio Springs is in their safe place. We have a major problem here that is about to cross over Route 412, 412 in the northwest corner of Oklahoma. We're currently underneath a tornado warning with a possibly very large and dangerous tornado heading towards Clio Springs. Yes, I did say tomorrow, but it might be worse. But this supercell is an absolute monster. I mean, I'm kind of speechless because you don't really see these types of presentations other than textbooks and very rare events. And honestly, this is insane. We'll kind of draw a track per se of the current rotation. And unfortunately, if I extended the track, we're heading right towards Clio Springs. Oof, not good. Not good. Not good at all. Let's see how many miles we have. We're moving about 35 miles per hour. It's about 4 miles left before this large storm. And this entire storm complex has just been issued a severe thunderstorm warning on top of whatever is going on. 1.5-inch hail, 60 mile per hour winds, of course. The more pressing issue is the current tornado warning for Clio Springs. And if you think this thing is getting weaker, unfortunately not really. We have a couplet again right there. Right where that ball is. That's where we're expecting a debris ball here. And man, we have absolute whipping winds. You can see our curling, our inflow. So what's happening here at the surface is an inflow that's wrapping around the entire storm and now just driving into the storm. Tornado would be right about this direction right here. Let's see if I can estimate how large the tornado would be right now. I think the tornado, if it was reaching the ground, the current status of where we're at, or we're looking about a 1 mile wide tornado heading towards Clio Springs. Unfortunately, we have a very large and dangerous situation happening about to cross in northwest Oklahoma. Northwest Oklahoma about to cross into Clio Springs. A very dangerous situation ongoing. Tornado confirmed on the ground and heading towards Clio Springs. Please seek shelter immediately. There actually is a chaser in Clio Springs. Hopefully they either seek shelter or get out of there. This is a very concerning storm. Again, this is nighttime right now. It is going to be impossible to see the storm, and they have a chaser who is saying this is looking like a wedge-like storm. Looks like we're going to get an extension of the warning. I think we're going to get an extension of the warning, but they are continuing radar indicated, which is honestly quite interesting. It's a quite interesting decision to... there it is. Oh, wow. This is a huge warning polygon. Okay, we have a new warning out, guys. New warning. Okay, so we've got a lot more people in the way of this storm for this. This is possibly a very large and dangerous situation here for a tornado. So you should be taking this extremely seriously. Clio Springs, Align, Helena, and Goldtree, Oklahoma. Take shelter immediately. We're in northwest Oklahoma, a large and dangerous supercell that has the history of producing a large tornado is moving into your region. A warning means there is an active threat. You can see the storm is moving 35 miles per hour northeast, and it has contained extremely dangerous hook that has been producing a tornado, possibly wedge tornado, now heading to the northeast towards Clio Springs here. And we have confirmation from a chatter who's watching someone who's on the storm. There's only one storm chaser on the storm right now. Confirmed wedge on the ground heading across 412 right now. You should be seeking shelter immediately. This should be a good wake-up call for the severity of the storms we have today. We have a very high risk of severe storms. There's not a super high likelihood of the storms happening, but obviously the storm has tapped into the full potential of our actual what's going on, of our conditions. Here's a new radar scan, and man, I'm not liking this. Unfortunately, our rotation has reestablished itself right on a collision course for a town of over 900 people in Oklahoma, Clio Springs, possibly about to take a direct hit from a large and dangerous tornado. This current radar estimates Let's see if I can estimate how large the tornado is. Unfortunately, the current radar estimate of the tornado width is about 1.1 miles. 1.1 mile large tornado heading towards Cleo Springs, Oklahoma. Seek shelter immediately. Let's take a look at, this is a rapidly deteriorating situation. Take a look at our correlation coefficient to see if we can see any, if I can click on the right one, debris, and oh boy, is that all debris? That can't be all debris, right? Probably not. It's a little bit hard to say because there's a bit of a gap here. We'll stick on the velocity here just for now. I really hope everyone at Cleo Springs is in their safe place. We're talking about a major tornado, as well as now we're having some nudging going on, as well as there's some nudging going on the southwest corner of the actual. Well, this actually is probably an inflow line now that's forming. So what's happening is the storm is chugging through so much air, so much energy. It's actually forming its own convection on the southern side of the inflow notch, and that is a quite incredible mark. I mean, this is possibly a massive storm. Hopefully, everyone is in their safe place. Cleo Springs is just mere minutes away from possibly experiencing an extremely large and dangerous tornado here. I mean, you can see the environment is absolutely just fueling this absolutely large and dangerous supercell. And this is what we were afraid of. New radar scan. Not good. Not good right here. We got a pretty still large couplet here. And you can see that actual... Basically just have to track wherever this ball is going right on this edge here. I mean, it's heading right into Cleo Springs. Okay. Saying EF2. I mean, you can't rank tornadoes. Can't rank tornadoes without damage anyways, so not really going to speculate on intensity. A little fun fact, but most it's hypothesized about 70 to 80% tornadoes possess EF3, EF4 strength just normally. They have to hit like houses to be ranked. And so most tornadoes are that strong. This one is possibly stronger, and a very dangerous and large tornado on the ground, guys. I'm actually surprised they have not upgraded this to confirm. There is a chaser on it, and this is not good. Not good. We're going to continue to stay live. I'm going to continue to stick on it until we have confirmation that this is over. It's doing a little bit of a check here, but we actually might not have another problem here. Another supercell on its own north of Elk City here. Keeping an eye on these ones. And, you know, the bad news I have is a lot of these cells are trying to stay on their own. This is what we're concerned about here. Is generally, if these cells can stay on their own, they're going to have the potential to be the same thing. Where is a tornado? Well, we currently have a tornado. We're seeing a lot of people join in, welcome in. We have an active tornado warning for northwest Oklahoma. This is for Cleo Springs. We have a possibly large and dangerous tornado on the ground. We have a chaser on this. I believe it's... Let's take a look. We have Noah Singleton on the case here. We have a possible wedge tornado on the ground heading towards Cleo Springs. That means a very large and dangerous tornado. Doesn't take a meteorologist to see on the left side of your screen a very large hook about to enter Cleo Springs within the next just probably minute. This is an extremely dangerous situation with the storm moving northeast about 35 miles per hour. This is heading towards Align, Helena, and Goldtree, Oklahoma. Route 60. Oklahoma Road 45. All these areas you should be seeking shelter immediately. There is no time to delay. We have an extremely dangerous tornado. Just for reference, the EF3 threat is just the wording of the National Weather Service. This thing is very large. And ranking is based off of PAT analysis. So either way, take shelter immediately. My latest analysis has this tornado placed at about 1 mile in radius. 1 mile currently. Seek shelter immediately. Illinois, not severe weather threat for today. Very serious situation ongoing as we continue to watch this absolute monster head towards Cleo Springs, waiting for a next radar scan. Extremely closely here. Keeping an eye on my sources as well, just for any other information that's ongoing. This is an extremely dangerous situation heading towards Cleo Springs. You do not see this very often, where you have an extreme radar presentation. Keeping an eye on my sources here. I mean, that's just insane. This hook is just crazy. Here to answer you guys' questions. Joplin was about 2 miles wide. The radar interference has been a little shoddy here. We're pretty close to the radar, but man, this is quite interesting. No Singleton racing into Clio Springs. Hopefully he takes that left onto Route 60, or you can have a major issue with this large and active tornado. Tennis ball sized hail. That's not on my end, but I would be surprised. Correlation coefficient. Let's take a look. It's really hard to tell because we kind of have a gap here, right? We have a little bit of a gap that's going to be a little bit more. I mean, I can tell you this is bad. This is really bad. Just because, I mean, look at the ball, right? That's like the ball of the hook. The actual tornado is probably right in this right here, or circle. That's just about to head into Clio Springs. So we'll look at the correlation coefficient as this major tornado heads into Clio Springs here. Very concerning look on the live radar here as we continue to watch. This is live radar here in northwest Oklahoma. Man, it's going to be really close. I really hope this does. So here's Clio Springs. You can see its footprint is not very large. I'm really hoping you can see our current rotation track is right around here. If we can have this just scoot to the north, we could really avoid tragedy here. Very, very going to be very close here. Very close. Yes, there has been confirmation that this is a very large and dangerous tornado. Where is this? This is in northwest Oklahoma. You know what's interesting is this still is radar indicated. I don't really know why we haven't upgraded it. Maybe Storm Chaser could not be reporting to the National Weather Service, which that's just kind of how it goes sometimes. So yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, wow, don't really know what Noah Singleton's doing. I guess he's probably a little bit ahead of radar, but like he's going in the bear's cage right now. If he's like going in front of the tornado, that's extremely questionable. Really hoping this is just going to go to the west of the Clio Springs here. I mean, this is going to be very close. Still got strong rotation ongoing. Hook is becoming a little bit less defined. The current worry is the occlusion, right? The occlusion is when the actual hook starts to collapse on itself. And you can start to even see that right here. We might have just missed Clio Springs. Man, that's close. So actual projection of the tornado is probably right around this region. You can see the actual downtown region of Clio Springs might be okay. Yes, the hook is collapsing into the main body. It's called an occlusion. And that's going to increase the danger of the storm. It's actually going to increase the spin and the tornado, at least temporarily. It's temporarily occlusion here. And really hoping we just avoided Clio Springs here. It's going to be very close. Let's take a look at the correlation coefficient. Because usually you can get a little bit of an idea of what has happened. And the good news on the correlation coefficient is I don't see any debris, at least that is really stand out. If you look at the current high-res storm relative velocity, it is just passing west of Clio Springs. If you're just joining in, we possibly have a major tornado on the ground. Current tornado warning in the northwest portions of Oklahoma for a current tornado warning for Clio Springs, Alline, Helena, and Goldtree. Please take shelter immediately. This has been a confirmed large tornado on the ground earlier, just moments ago. Current good news, at least I generally think, is the large, dangerous tornado, I believe, has just missed Cleo Springs to the northwest. Currently, you see the two circled areas on the west side of Cleo Springs. That's where my best guess on rotation is. And actual Cleo Springs, which is not very large, only 900 residents underneath that square. Really hoping we've just dodged an absolute disaster here. However, we are not out of the woods yet, as we're heading towards a couple other towns like Align, Helena, and Goldtree. This could be a possibly long-lived supercell. There's really not anything around here, so convection-wise, we actually have another nudger supercell that's going to possibly feed into it. So this could go for a while here. If you're anywhere in the range of the storm, continue to track closely. And yeah, another good news scan is you got the tornado possibly on the ground right around here. Cleo Springs is right to the southeast. It's gonna be hard to tell. Hopefully any other like farmhouses in the way are okay, but man, I think we probably just avoided disaster by probably about a mile. So I think that the storm probably just missed quite an incredible event here. Unfortunately, we got a long way to go. Low-level winds will start ramping up, of course, as we head into the evening hours, so that will give a little bit more additional support. We do have a considerable tag on this severe thunderstorm warning here in, I believe this is, Texas Panhandle, just north of Memphis, Texas. This is issued for 1.75-inch hail, considerable tag on it. You can see measured 2-inch hail and actually 2.25-inch hail. Hennig-sized hail heading towards Headley and Quill, Texas. Let's go back to our active tornado warning here. And getting a report, it's multi-vortex, so possibly now I might have hopefully did not jinx Cleo Springs. We're getting a little bit of rotation on possibly dual sides of the storm here. Yes, I have storm chased before, and I will be storm chasing this May as well. Oh God, what the heck? We might have. Ooh, what is going on the radar? Honestly, this is looking a little wacky. Might be radar interference. Here's a kind of core circulation I'm thinking of, but there honestly is some side circulation happening on the side lobe. We might have twin tornadoes here. Honestly, with the radar, I'm kind of lost. Looks more like interference to me. I'd say that the main tornado threat here is just about to cross on Oklahoma Road 8. So yeah, a pretty serious situation ongoing. On the left side of your screen, see reflectivity. You still got that major hook just north of Cleo Springs now, heading northeast about 35 miles per hour. Yeah, I think it barely missed Cleo Springs. Barely missed it. Some very good news. Unfortunately, we are far, far out of the woods for today. Especially, you know what? It's making me nervous here is, the forecast on our models were, okay, there was going to be an isolated threat for tornadoes and whatnot for a little bit here. But like eventually it's going to form a blob, right? We're going to form blob storms, and they're going to be elongated, and they're going to be less tornado threats. I'm counting a couple of just isolated storms here, isolated supercells that really could cause some issues here in the next few hours. Especially the extra support of the low-level jet, and oh my gosh, like what this absolute monster of a supercell with possible nudging supercell on heading right towards it. So what this does, this one here, is it will enhance the spin of the entire storm and kind of draw in more spin, and possibly could enhance that as well. So, guys, it's gonna be a long night. It's gonna be a long night. I'm gonna try to stick with the storm because this is a serious storm here, and you can see the rotation is absolutely tearing. Looks like we actually do have Noah Singleton bailing out of Road 8. Noah Singleton is taking a bailout of the grid road there to avoid this possibly large and dangerous tornado on the ground here just north of Cleo Springs, Oklahoma. Hopefully he stays safe out there. An active storm chaser following this extremely dangerous storm. We have a deviant storm motion ongoing, so storms will be pretty hard to predict today in location and rotation and deviant mode. This is going to be a long night, guys. Oh, gosh, I mean, it's almost 4 a.m. for me here, so I'm going to stick with this tornado as long as it looks pretty well defined here, but unfortunately we'll be very limited on time here. Let me look at Edmond, Oklahoma. My gosh. Yeah, I mean, I told you guys it was going to occlude, but look at this absolute monster. We could be talking about an extremely, extremely potent tornado right there. For Edmond, oh yeah, Edmond, Oklahoma, you're okay right now. You are underneath a severe weather threat for, sorry, I'm just getting another update. You are underneath a severe weather threat for today, so you have to stay weather aware. Getting reports of power flashes alongside this very dangerous storm heading more northeast. And man, yikes. You don't see this type of rotation on a storm, and it's very rare. It's a defined supercell. There's a tornado warning in Texas. That is, oh my gosh, yes there is. Thank you for that call out there. We actually, wow, we have a tornado warning. Wow, this must be reported by Storm Chaser because there's not really a lot of rotation on here. Storm, okay, well we have an active tornado warning with 2.5 inch sized hail in Texas. This is for Quail, Texas, just north of Memphis, Texas. Seek shelter immediately. I believe this is a very low population warning as well. Let me take a look. Yeah, no, that's the other one. 2,000. This is for 81 people, so we won't spend too much time on this. We have currently an active tornado warning. The biggest thing, honestly, I have to say is tornado warning, seek shelter now, but you also have 2.5 inch size hail. You have hail the size of tennis balls falling in that region as well. So add to the chaos. We currently have 2 active tornado warnings, one very large and dangerous tornado warning here in Allen, Helena, and Goldtree, Oklahoma, heading northeast, and then we also have a tornado warning in the North Texas Panhandle, just north of Memphis, Texas. It's only for 81 people, but if you're one of those 81 people, seek shelter right now. You can see this very large and dangerous supercell that's been having a hook for now about 30 minutes here. An active tornado warning. There is been confirmation visually by a storm chaser on this storm. It's very large and it's very dangerous. I think the good news is we just missed Clio Springs. The bad news is we have a long way to go, possibly, because this could be a long track supercell continuing to move to the northeast. Very strong rotation and possibly a large and dangerous tornado occluding right now. That means it's going to get pretty strong here relatively, but I don't know if it's going to hit anything, which is some good news. Mostly going through farm fields. Just a reminder, we have a severe weather threat for tomorrow. It's actually more of a widespread threat than even today, so you're going to be wanting to follow for that. More updates coming and continuing to track the storm. You can see even more convection firing to the south of this one. Yeah, I'm not too sure why. I'm not too sure why this is not confirmed. I don't know if well, there is a chaser on it who's seen it, but I guess I don't know if the National Weather Service is in contact with them. Honestly, with the radar, I'd confirm it. Radar confirmed. I mean, there's not like that many people there anyways, so why not radar confirm it and give them a little bit extra time? I mean, this is literally it's like, hey, this is a tornado. Like, this is basically the definition of a tornado right here. The greens and reds right next to each other, an absolute monster tornado. And this is what year? This is weather. Oh my gosh, Weatherfront. You can find the link on my bio. But yeah, we have a very large and dangerous tornado heading towards Helena, Oklahoma. Seek shelter immediately. I believe there's just 2,000 people inside this warning polygon, so take this very seriously. Seek shelter immediately. All right. Continue to let me know your questions here, guys. Sorry, just continue to check the sources I have, making sure everything is a-okay. Man, like, I'm not gonna lie, like a western shift of this, like a western wobble on this tornado basically saved Clio Springs from absolute disaster here. I mean, taking a look at this, I have reason to believe this tornado is about 1.5 miles wide right now on the ground. What the heck? Oh, yeah. Just taking a look at the gate-to-gate and current movement, I believe we've... the link is in my bio. Man, it's a link tree. Jesus. This is insane. I mean, an absolute... Like, this is incredible. An absolute monster storm here. Possibly a tornado reaching over a mile wide. This is... I do not know how this is not a confirmed tornado. This is pretty much the most damning evidence I've ever seen on a velocity meter heading towards the northeast here. Let's go back to our second tornado warning here. Again, we have 2 active tornado warnings. We do have a tornado report, so that's probably why this is warned. Over here in in Texas. This is just north of Memphis, Texas, for 81 people. Current tornado warning. See a few chasers out there trying to get a view of it. It's nighttime. The warning code also has a hen-sized egg, 2.5-inch sized hail within this warning. Honestly, we're going to stick on this one because I think this is an absolute monster. Just take a look at this without the velocity for a second. You see the absolutely large hook, and I think we're going to have an even larger issue here with now a nudger supercell. What that means is basically this is going to collide with our parent supercell up here. That's going to add even more rotation into all of this. More and more and more and more and more and more. And so, right now we have a large and dangerous tornado on the ground here just north of Clio Springs, Oklahoma. We're going to amplify that even more. It's just going, so this actual supercell is chugging through so much energy, it's basically going to envelop the other one and just enhance its overall spin. So a very serious situation. The only good news I have generally is there's not a huge population center across this region right now the storm is tracking through, but there are a decent amount of people, about 2,000 people underneath this active tornado warning. So you should be seeking shelter immediately within this area, getting off the roads. We're talking about a very dangerous situation ongoing. Yes. How are there tornadoes even worse than this? Yeah, I mean, Mother Nature is pretty insane when all those conditions align here. Currently looking at the active tornado warning. But you can see from here to this one, a little bit of good news is we got a little bit of slowing down of inflow here. We'll see. It's still pretty decent rotation. Just generally, the crazy thing is, this is actually heading right towards the radar, so we'll see if the radar gets hit here. But you really can see the rotation-wise with some of this. Take a look at the actual wind speed away from the radar, marking around 90 miles per hour. Is this because of the warm front? I can't. Okay, we have a new severe thunderstorm warning with a considerable tag on it, 1.75-inch hail and 60 mile per hour winds. I honestly don't really know the reason for it being so far north with our right mover supercell about to... Oh my gosh. This thing just keeps going. New amplification on our rotation continues to move on. If I was Noah, I would be absolutely trying to not get killed by this absolute monster of a supercell storm. Is this because of the butterfly? Yes. Look, Echo is crazy. I mean, it has been crazy for the past hour, basically. Still a radar indicated tornado. It's like that's honestly the most shocking thing. Yeah, the southern tornado only has 81 people in it, so I'm going to focus on this one. You can see that the reds and greens right next to each other. That's basically okay. Like, we've got it right here. Chicago is going to see severe weather threat for tomorrow. Actually, do have a EF2 plus tornado risk for Chicago tomorrow. Not to like concern you with this absolute massive tornado that's happening right now. That's not coming tonight, but tomorrow, stay weather aware. This is not north towards Killeen. Okay, so well, we'll go back to this just briefly here. Oh no, we have another, never mind, we have a different tornado. Okay, so now we have 3 tornadoes. We have a spotter confirmed tornado warning. We have a confirmed tornado on the ground here towards Samnerwood. Samnerwood, I believe we're still in Texas, right? Samnerwood in Texas. We have an observed tornado. The first observed tornado of this stream. Now we have 3 active tornado warnings ongoing. Seek shelter immediately. Seek shelter immediately. This is, you can see all these chasers out here. A very dangerous situation shaping up. Hopefully everyone can be safe. I just want to note there are 0 exit roads once you get up to this point. So shout out to any chasers here. If you are on Route 83, just know there are 0 exit roads near once you get north of Wilmington. We have an observed tornado on the ground with also an additional risk of tennis ball sized hail on top of this all. Look at reference, guys. We have numerous tornado warnings ongoing. We have 2 in Texas, 1 in Oklahoma. We've already had, we now have a confirmed tornado on the ground by a storm reporter. Kyle was the source. Stay safe, Kyle. Hopefully you're avoiding the storm chaser traffic. How close to a tornado is safe to get? If I'm driving, a couple feet. But realistically, you don't want to be really anywhere near this types of storms. Tornado is about to hit Helena. Yeah, we'll head back here in our active tornado warning. Oh boy, can this thing continue to be not a monster? We have a continued monster tornado warning here. Estimated range about 1.4 miles wide, heading towards Helena. Is it Helena or Helena? I think it's Helena. Helena, Oklahoma. We got a pretty large population center, at least for this region here, a town, a small town that this large tornado is heading towards. You need to be seeking shelter immediately. Just by the way, this thing is wobbling a bit and jumping around a bit, so you should be in your safe place. There's 0 way to confirm it with your eyes. So you please, it is rain wrapped right now, is what I'm trying to say. Please be in your safe place. Do not visually try to confirm this tornado. Fredericksburg, I mean, it's hard to say for an exact area if they're going to get a tornado or not. It's basically impossible, I should be saying. See, a bunch of storm chasers are jumping ship and going to these cells here. But yes, we have a confirmed tornado on the ground in Samnerwood, Texas. Samnerwood, Texas. Let's see how many people are in that one. 165 people in that one. So we're going to really stick to this one. This one has the most people and still continues my most concern. It looks like it's about to fully occlude, though, which might be some good news. It means the actual storm is going to collapse on itself as well. Santi, you missed a possibly very large and dangerous tornado. We currently have 3 active tornado warnings. We have an observed tornado here in Texas, in the northeast corner of Texas, the Texas Panhandle. Observed tornado warning heading towards Samnerwood. It's currently 4 a.m. for me, and I have a Spanish exam in 6 hours. Now you're all caught up. I kind of blame myself for this because I said I was done, and then we had like 3 tornadoes all at once. Yes, well, we got a question if the warm front was the reason for the tornado. Well, generally what we're having here is an increase of warm and storm fuel sectors within the Central Plains because of a pattern shift. So technically, yes, the warm front was kind of the start of this, and actually what's happening here is we have these supercells that are dancing along an imaginary line between very warm air, or at least relatively, and very cool air to the north. This is kind of giving them artificial lift along it, and because they're getting lifted up and going across and getting larger, they tap into the full spin of the atmosphere. That really enables them to become very powerful. And what's also happening additionally on top of what everything else is happening is they're staying a little bit more isolated than what was originally predicted, especially in northwest Oklahoma with this absolute monster that is still going on heading towards Helena. When they become isolated, they can stick to their own, and they can become a lot more aggressive than if they are battling with other storms for energy and air and fuel. So that's what we're really concerned about right now. Very complicated situation ongoing, multiple tornado warnings. Should be in your safe place. I'm anticipating the tornado risk to start to wane very soon as storm coverage becomes less singular celled and more widespread. But the large hail risk and high wind risk will remain for the rest of the evening. Hopefully that helps out. Again, we'll be live tomorrow, a more widespread risk for over 50 million people across areas like Chicago, Dallas-Fort Worth, Oklahoma City, Wichita, St. Louis. All of these areas are underneath some sort of severe weather risk for tomorrow, so you're going to want to follow for that. We'll be live tomorrow. Continuing to track this storm very closely, an active tornado is about to cross over Oklahoma Road 45 just west of Helena. Stay in your safe place within this region. I do think I don't want to jinx the game, but I don't think we do have an observed tornado, but Sumner Wood has 90 people who live in there, and unfortunately, I do need to conserve energy, guys. It is 4 a.m. for me. I have an exam. I have a Spanish exam. If I didn't have a Spanish midterm, I would be with you guys for the rest of the night, but unfortunately, I do have a Spanish midterm. So I probably will be wrapping it up right there. There are a lot of amazing other streamers too. I suggest Mezzo Matt on YouTube if he's live right now. I don't know if he's live or not. So go on there and get the information as well. The threat is long from over, but hopefully cover these really important tornado warnings. But unfortunately, I do have to call it a night at some point. I have to call it a night. So I appreciate the support, guys, so much. Tomorrow, I promise you, we're bringing in the heavies, caffeine, and we will be live for the entire duration of the event. So please stay safe. Seek shelter if you get warnings. And this is the last 10 seconds before I end the stream. Just subscribe or follow. Thank you so much. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you.